Hello, man, baby. In the background there, thank you, everyone. All four of them. So I'm back. It's been such a long time, but here we are, and I hope you're all enjoying Andor because all roads lead to Rogue One, and that's what we're discussing today. So. What day is it? I don't know whether I'm coming or going. It's Friday, October the 14th. 2022, and I am, of course, the greatest man baby in film history, Ruin Johnson, the greatest Hollywood director and the director of the greatest Star Wars film ever made, that ever will be made, of course, The Last Jedi. And I trust you man babies are all well. I can see you in the chat there. Get ready, guys. We've got a good one tonight. So today we are roasting perhaps the second greatest Disney Star Wars film ever, which is 2016's Rouge One, A Star Wars Story. So lots of slides to get through, about 600. So we should be good for about 5 hours tonight, guys. So saddle in. So let's get the members of the rebellion out, and let's get them all ready to go, ready to roast. So first up, watch out, War and Peace. He's writing a Star Wars novel. It's took him about 7 years so far. I expect it's going to be ready just about the same time as my trilogy drops. Everybody, it's Swapshop. How you doing, Swapshop?
Oh, hello, Ruin. You old Star Wars destroying bastard, you. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm still at it. I'm still ruining the fandom on a daily basis. But we're talking Rogue One today. That's exciting, isn't it?
It's exciting for me because this is a really fun film that I genuinely enjoyed. I went to the cinema to go and see this, racing to get there, thinking it was going to be packed out, and strangely, it was empty. And I was quite nonplussed as to why there weren't many people in the cinema. Thinking, oh, maybe it's just because of the weather or something. Since The Force Awakens was the highest grossing film ever made at that point. So, would expect it to carry over. But maybe we'll talk about why it wasn't as successful later on anyway.
Well, I had a similar experience. I don't know whether it's because someone's dropped a deuce on the back row or because they'd really put The Last Jedi on the advertisement outside. Who knows? But anyway, we'll bring out the rest of the motley crew. So next up, he is the best-looking Star Wars extra on YouTube. He was actually in Rogue One. No, it's not the guy who plays Cassian Andor. It's Problem Being.
Hello, you cultural demon spawn. Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. That's the word. Hello.
Try my best for you, sir. So, first time we're on the screen together should be fun. And in terms of Disney's fine products, where do you rate Rogue One? Are you looking forward to this, or you looking forward to
Yeah, no, look, it was a competent movie. I still don't feel it's particularly Star Warsy, if I can say that. I think it was an unnecessary tale, but that's pretty much where every Disney product is at the moment. But it was a bit of a bait and switch. It was a good high benchmark, and then it kind of went downhill after that, really, didn't it? So.
Well, I beg your pardon. We had The Last Jedi, but anyway, we won't get into that now. Let's bring out some more reprobates. So next up, he's the wise elder of the channel. You know the rest. He is, drum rolls, it's Mega Geek himself, Ian David Diaz. Mega Geek, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right. Nice to see everybody here. Yeah, Rogue One, eh? Let's go for it. That's all I can say.
Yes, we're raring to go for a bit of Rogue One. Can't wait. Okay, well, Ian, I know you've got, I'm sure you've got a lot of thoughts on Rogue One, but keep them in the holster. We're going to be calling on you very soon, but let's get the next one out. But before we do, are you well, Mega Geek? I need to know you're well before we start.
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm doing fine. Yeah.
You're up for this.
I am. I am indeed. Yes, definitely.
Excellent. Okay. Well, last but no means least, he is the least knowledgeable person on YouTube. No, sorry, Star Wars fan on YouTube. And actually, it's his birthday today, so we have to be nice to him. So wishing a big happy 60th. It's the man who hosts the channel, our very own Mr. Brown. Happy birthday, Brownie.
Happy birthday, you old
Oh,
bastard.
hello. Happy birthday, Brown.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Hello,
Brownie,
everybody.
Hello there. What did you get for your birthday, Brown?
Same as last year. Fuck all.
Here's the
Do
consistency.
you not get a pair of socks or something?
I have a
Would
tiny
you get a
violin.
I
I have a tiny violin if you want one.
Yeah, start playing it then. I went to see Halloween Ends today.
Oh, dear.
Ooh.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I love Halloween. God, it was disappointing.
Oh.
Why
I've
are you
heard.
surprised?
It
Everybody knew it was gonna be
finished.
shit.
It finished on a whimper, folks.
We knew it was going to
Very-
be shit.
So
no.
disappointing.
Did he get unmasked at the end? Oh, we're not going to spoil it.
He-
No spoilers.
You didn't see his face though.
Uh-huh.
It's probably William
Pretty
Shatner. Isn't it?
unmasked.
It's probably William Shatner, isn't it? Take the mask off.
Whoever thought of the scripts? But anyway.
Uh-huh.
Never
Oh
mind.
dear. Okay, well, I hope your birthday was better than Halloween Ends. I'll tell you what I'll do, Brownie. I'll make it up for you. I'll send you a Blu-ray copy of The Last Jedi
Oh,
in the
yes.
post, winging its way over to
Get
you.
in.
You can watch that at your leisure. Just make sure you put the director commentary on.
What
when you
about
watch.
tickets for Star Trek Land?
Is there such a thing?
No.
It's a surefire
In
way
his
to make
head.
Halloween scary, though, isn't it? It's like take off the William Shatner rubber mask and make one of Ruin's face instead.
Have you seen the alternative universe version of the mask? But it's actually Spock's mask.
No way.
It's frightening. Look it
Wow.
up on Google. Spock Halloween
Oh yeah, I saw
Michael
that.
Myers. Oh my
Yeah.
god, it's demonic. That would have
Yeah.
been absolutely
Totally different ball
terrifying.
game that is.
Oh yeah, yeah, pretty scary.
Well, there's no comedic segue, so I'm just going to go straight in and say it. It's Rogue One, a Star Wars
Moving on.
story. The runtime is
Yay!
2 hours, 13 minutes. The release date is December 15, 2016, when all was good with the world. There was no COVID. There was no fucking stop the oil wankers destroying paintings.
Tomato soup.
And
yeah.
Star Wars hadn't yet been ruined by my good self, so it was a good time to be alive. Director was Gareth Edwards. Writers Chris White. What? I don't know how you pronounce his name. Whites, who cares? Tony Gilroy. Is this the same dude who's doing Andor? I think it is, isn't it?
yes.
John Knoll, Gary Whitta, lots of writers there. Ooh, why
John
have so
Knoll
many?
invented Photoshop. Can you believe it?
Wow. Now that's dropping knowledge from Brownie there. We'll let it pass. It is his birthday. It was based on the characters created by George Lucas and produced by everybody's favorite darling, Kathleen Kennedy, and others
Yay.
too numerous to mention. Music was by Michael Giacchio and
Who
John Williams.
produced it again? Did you say?
It was
KK.
produced by the darling that is Kathleen Kennedy. Oh. Brown got some trigger buttons
More
for his
like
birthday,
tears.
everyone.
Zero.
Moving on.
Yeah. I best
Special
we do.
effects, not by Mr. Brown, but by ILM. It was starring Felicity Jones,
Ugh.
Diego
It was
Luna,
Mardi Cow.
and Alan Turdick.
Did you say
Turd
Diego
something.
Maradona?
Tudyk.
Yeah.
Tudyk. Two
The
dicks.
Two dicks. Alan Two Dicks. That's
Oh,
why he's
good
always got a
God.
smile on his face.
I'm determined to get through this goddamn script. The budget was 200,000
Quid.
something.
$1
It
million.
grossed over a billion.
billion.
Is that-
A billion.
It
Yeah,
really
a
did.
billion.
It grossed
Just
over
over
a billion.
Yeah.
Wow. And special
Can
thanks.
I just say, Dark Side of the Wok says no Inquisitors in this film. What an insult!
Dark Side of the
There we go. In the
We're never
chat,
going to get
Dark-
through this, are we?
No, we'll be here tomorrow. Dark Side of the Walk. No Inquisitors in this film. Walk an insult.
Are we still
I
doing the
love
ones? I can't
Um,
believe it. Okay.
Before we move on, may I just say rest in peace, Calculon.
Yes.
Calgon. What?
Calculon.
Calgon.
Washing machines live longer.
Exactly.
Calgon.
I thought you were talking
Jesus.
about a washing machine.
Washing
There. What's going on?
That's like Calgon.
Calgon.
Moving on.
We've gone completely off the
The
rails.
cracker
and
is gone. Yeah.
I will say goodbye to a lot of American people who've tuned in. I've got no idea what we're going on about. So thanks for
Oh, there
joining
you
us.
go. We can always depend on Andy. Rest in peace, Caliclon. And Time Prophet, rest in peace, Coltrane, Robbie Coltrane. And
Indeed.
Caliclon. Yes.
Rest in peace, Fitz.
Yes.
Sorry, we
And
went back to
Hagrid,
that.
of course.
That's okay. Well, all I've got left on the script is special thanks to Peter Cushing, Carrie Fisher, and Ryan Johnson, and
Yeah.
in memory of Chris
believe it?
Bayes. Now,
Do you know why they're thanking Ryan Johnson? Because they modelled the Death Star on his head. That's why they thank him. There you go.
Unfortunately, his head didn't explode, but hey.
the Death Star's not perfectly round. It's got that strange dent in it, so it couldn't possibly.
He's got the
be
like
modelled
two
on my head.
beady eyes in which you can fire like missiles into and explode his head.
I said modelled, didn't I? So,
Yeah, that's true.
Paul Franco in the chat's just it's just sinking in that
It's
Robbie
gutted.
Coltrane
Yeah,
has,
Franco is gone, mate.
departed us. So
Yeah, Franco's gone.
yeah, we're not
Yeah.
larking around
Gone, mate.
Franco. Sadly, he
He
has
did go.
passed away, and this will forever now be known as Robbie Coltrane Remembrance Day.
Coltrane,
not
I am
Brownie's birthday.
Coltrane. Roll out.
Oh God! Right, it's going to be a long one.
Transformer,
Okay.
Coltron.
He said,
I am Coltrane.
Okay, Brown, are we gonna do this goddamn thing or what? Yes.
That very much depends on you.
Well, here we go. I'm about to hit the big red button. Get ready, guys. It's the smallest font you've ever seen, and I
Free
think
eye
it
test,
says.
everybody.
I think it says, Mr. Brown, send me some money for a new laptop because I'm still running Windows.
I need
7
NT.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Windows NT, yeah. Windows 95, folks.
But please
we need-
subscribe. He's on 700.
Yes,
Brownie.
700 today. Can you believe it? Somebody for my birthday, 700, 300 to go.
Wow.
We are climbing creeping ever so
Slowly.
slowly to the big
Our death.
Crescendo.
1,000. Yes. Okay, so look, Rogue One. Here we go. Kind of nice poster, don't we think? It's a rather nice poster, a bit of a throwback poster, but we got the
Alright,
Death
isn't it?
Star. We got some fighters. We got a nice diverse cast.
I remember
which
TIE Fighters.
sure we'll get into. And then we have a rather strange font for the opening. And the one thing which struck me was sat in the cinema all on my own, and like absolutely no one but the projectionist. The opening was very different for a Star Wars film. I think this was the first of the how do we put it? The non-sequential films. So they did this kind of new opening sequence, didn't they?
It's
Without
called
the
a Star Wars story, isn't it? Yeah.
yes, indeed, yes. And there was no crawl. There was no I don't know, all the rest of the crap you get with Star Wars movies. But we open on this nice planet, this the Saturn, I presume, with the rings, and we
Uranus.
then we hone in on some familiar surroundings, and we're about to meet our first character. So, Mega Geek, I'm coming to you first. Talk to me, Mega Geek. We've got the opening scene here, which I thought was quite a nice scene. What did you make of it?
I did. As I said, I did like this film. It does move quite fast, actually, which is quite nice. And also, it felt like Star Wars. The music, it's definitely the tone that Star Wars has. And as I said, the opening sequence, I was quite surprised it didn't have a crawl. I was quite surprised it just went boom. Halfway through, it just went boom. Rogue One, and you had the titles, whatever. It's a decent opening as far as I'm concerned. I was really quite surprised actually they didn't have the crawl. I don't know about you guys. It just went boom.
It felt wrong.
It was there.
Yeah.
Did it feel wrong
you're
for
in
you?
a Star Wars movie with the crawl.
Right. Okay. I guess they wanted to make it different, but this film had a lot of problems anyway, during the making of. I know they had all the Darth Vader stuff after they'd shot the whole thing. They felt they needed the Darth Vader stuff. And also this time round, Peter Cushing doesn't look real at all. I remember watching it first time round thinking, oh yeah, it does look like he's there. But when you look at it now, you think, no, that just doesn't work. Anyway, that's my take.
You know, we'll get into it when we get to that part. But for me, the worst scene of the whole damn film was the final scene and the CGI layer. Is the one part I thought, oh no, it looks terrible. In terms of Peter Cushing, I wish they'd just kept it a reflection, you know, in the darkness. But when it got to layer in full light, it was
the actor who
horrible.
did the body for Cushing looks fairly similar. I don't know why they just didn't use him.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get there, but in the meantime, we start on this kind of farmland with. Well, I've got to say, Krennic for me was an absolute joy in this film. He was a proper throwback old, you know, Imperial officer. I loved the whole white attire and the cape and everything else. So, Swappers, what do you make of old Krennic?
I really like Krennic. I think he's a great character.
Is he Australian?
He is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I have to say, one of the loveliest actors. Like, he was really, really funny on set.
What's his name again?
Ben
Mendelsohn.
Yes, good shout, Brownie.
Yeah, lovely guy. Really nice guy.
Yeah, I saw him at the Star Wars Celebration in London, like just before this movie was released, and he wandered down through the middle of the audience that was in the you know, the screen, not the screening, but the preview auditorium where they had the audience in there, and he sort of wandered in. No one knew who the actor was at the time, because he hadn't been in any of the real sort of major movies, and he sort of just wanders in full costume, flanked by these death troopers, and he walked to the front on the stage, and he kind of ordered these death troopers around to do this. It was awesome, man. And this was after walking around the floor outside, looking at all the outfits for the characters and the starship designs and stuff, and finding out who the actors were, and then seeing him do this in full character. I just thought, oh, I'm totally on board with this. This guy knows what he's doing. He's into it. He's loving what he's doing. And I thought Ben Mendelsohn himself did a great job in this role, and Krennic is a brilliantly written character as well. Sadly, you do need to have read the little preview novel before the movie to get a full sort of idea of his character. But that's how they do things these days, sadly. But
you didn't need it though.
And media,
you knew exactly who he was.
to get a full idea of his character, he did. But as far as the movie goes, you didn't need it. But but if you'd read that book, you'd realize how good a character he was actually fleshed out to be, you know, before they even started the movie. But I really loved him. He's a great Imperial officer type kind of guy, and just fitted the mold perfectly.
Yeah, great casting, great character. God, we're giving them some goddamn compliments. What's going on? Are we all pissed today or what? Okay, well, look, there is another character. We kind of skip past them, and it's played by, you know, some would say a heavyweight actor, Mads Mikkelsen. So I nearly said problem child. Problem being, who I'm sure is a problem child. Problem being, the Mads Mikkelsen character. He played Galen Erso. What do you make of old Galen, Jin's dad?
Yeah, he's quite stoic, isn't it? We don't see that anymore. And he was sort of stoic, upright, you know, heroic, well, kind of heroic, I guess, you know. He's a complicated, complex character, which, you know, we like. You know, he was responsible for a lot of the ills that later came to form the Star Wars universe as we know it, with the Death Star and all that shizzle.
He must have had 20 minutes of screen time. 20.
He didn't have much screen time, but he did own it. Yeah. He did own
it.
I mean, he only needs to stand there and you sort of go, well, that guy knows what he's talking about. It's got that kind of authoritative figure.
Did you see him?
You know, that whole pattern.
Did you
no,
see
I didn't.
him?
I wasn't on any scenes with him. I was only on 2 scenes, in a street scene and on the Imperial base. I was a comm tech. And I got to see Ben fluff his lines every take because he just couldn't remember his lines.
Oh,
it's tough.
It is. And I tell you what, you know those shiny black floors you get?
They're slippery?
No, they just attract dust like you would not believe. Like people had to walk around blue plastic bags on their feet, and even then, dust was like straight back on there. They keep coming out and sweeping it, and as soon as they finish, like, ready for another take, the dust was just like it just looked like footprints everywhere. It's bizarre. Really weird.
In the chat, the uninspired reviewer Hale, he has great screen presence. I can't even say it, but he has got great screen presence.
He's a veteran, though, isn't he? Knows what he's doing.
So dependable.
Yeah, that's a good word. Dependable.
Why do the Imperial people always wear gloves? I've never understood that.
Because I don't want to have to touch the riffraff.
I guess.
Well, Brownie, I was going to come to you actually, but I don't think I need to. I'm going to flash your comments on screen. I want to ask you what you thought of Mads Mikkelsen, but
he's an athlete. He's a great athlete. Yes.
Okay.
He's fit as Fook.
Do you know what? The only thing I didn't understand about this scene was why his wife gave away her position and ran towards him with the gun. That made no sense to me.
She's a woman and she has to hold a gun. That's the rules of modern day filmmaking.
She could have easily escaped with her daughter and looked after her rather than the other fella and dumping it. You know what I mean? I don't understand.
She's got to wave a penis around. That's what women do in cinema these days.
This is the only thing that didn't. Gun. Yeah, so this is the thing that didn't make any sense to me. Why she did it and leave her daughter. Do you know what I mean? She had a good, clear, distance between them all. She could have hid with her. But so I don't understand that.
Here you go, boys. Ruin, I'll do the chat, mate. Before I come and twat you on. Dark Side of the Walk says, why did Krennic park half a mile away?
That's true too.
He's been cramped up
Star Wars.
He's been cramped up in that shuttle for all that time. He wants a bit of fresh air.
No,
you know what I mean?
but no, we're pointing out the tiny flaws in here. Like, why would she have a stormtrooper doll? If why would she have a stormtrooper doll? I don't know why.
People own Michael Myers masks.
Yeah, well, I don't know. But
maybe it's to throw the Imperials off whenever they come to stay. So they think
maybe the only toys they're allowed. Maybe that's it.
You see, if we have to say if maybe, we know there's something wrong with the script and they didn't think of those bits. So there you go. But anyway,
I always thought he parked half a mile away because they kind of. They're cautious about maybe someone chucking a detonator or something, and they have to keep the ship.
No, that doesn't make any sense either.
No, that bit was written by Ruin Johnson. So
also
right here,
Also, right? Do you think those ships look like the ships in Buck Rogers? If you look at it carefully, it really does look. Buck Rogers used to have in the front. They had those two pointy things.
Beautiful,
and those ships had two pointy things as well. It really did. When I looked at it again, I was like, "Oh, isn't that Buck Rogers' ship?" But it isn't. But it really does look like. I can't remember what the ships were called in Buck Rogers, the TV show.
You're talking about the U one.
Yeah.
Not the ship Krennic flew in.
No, not that one.
No. I know what you mean. Yeah.
It looks a bit like Buck Rogers' ship.
Anyway, I mean, what's his name? Didn't he? Macquarie designed both the fighter in Buck Rogers and
Starfighters.
Thunderfighter.
Yeah.
That was great.
Okay. What is that happening in this scene?
Let's get back.
I can't remember.
Well, Mrs. Urso has popped up in a rather rash decision and kind of confronted Krennic, and then one of the Death Troopers, I think, has taken care of her. But I want to ask you, Brownie, because you like robots, Brownie. What do you make of the Death Troopers? Do you like the design?
Yes.
Okay, moving on.
Can I say I met those guys on set, and they're really, really tall and quite lithe, and I wouldn't envy them wearing that gear.
And anything that's taken from the original Macquarie drawings is it's going to be fantastic.
Did you know that some of the Stormtrooper helmets have visors that lift up? The eye things. They lift up. Like the black eyes that they've got in the helmets. They can actually rise up.
I didn't know that.
Nor did I.
Is this scene? I don't know what's going on in this scene. Is the Ben Mendelsohn character forcing him
No,
to
what's
work.
I know, yeah. So what's happened is
Oh,
that
okay.
he's escaped. He's flew to this planet to just be a ordinary person, a farmer.
Yeah.
He designed something for them. He designed the I think the weapon in the Star Destroyer, and
Right.
he's come back to say to him, hasn't worked. We need you back
Right.
to
Okay.
fix
Right.
it.
Right.
And obviously, he doesn't want to go back. His wife
No.
runs off with her daughter for some reason. She leaves her daughter in the field and confronts them with one
Right.
gun, which is
Okay.
stupid.
Because
Anyway.
I genuinely think I've only seen this film once.
Yeah, I've only seen it once as well. I remember it though.
Twice, and I've been in it. I've seen it twice, and I feel so.
Did you get
bad.
invited to the premiere, Lee?
The fuck I did. You know, like extras
Okay.
don't even get their name in the credits. You know, you can fit everyone else on. You know, draws an eyeball for a 3D CAD or whatever it is. But you know, if you're actually in it, you don't get. You get your casting agent's name up there, and that's it. That's all of us
wow.
represent.
Weird.
In the chat, Melvin Deeply, hello Melvin. Death Troopers, a good bunch of lads.
Yeah.
Completely misrepresented by their name.
Why is she
Yes,
dressed
indeed.
like Obi-Wan Kenobi though?
They all are.
Well,
It's weird.
well, I wanted to ask Brownie because I like to get him involved in these things. Brownie, this is Lyra. Is it Lyra? Lyra Urso. She obviously gets killed imminently. But before we move on from her, what would you give her, Brownie, out of 10?
Let me think. Probably 1.
You give her 1, okay.
You need a
Good.
bar.
We have to get that gag in at least once every stream. So
We do.
okay. Moving on, and we get young Jyn Erso, who's peering on this scene.
This
watching
is
her
the
mother
agenda
die.
coming through now, isn't it? And we didn't realise what was going on.
Oh dear.
No, it's not so
Slowly
bad.
slowly.
It's not so bad in this one. I didn't mind the female
early days.
the female heroine being the front, but the Felicity, I can't remember her surname, who played this, she was terrible in this film. Her acting was like she was like a plank of wood in this film. She didn't show any kind of. I just thought she was awful personally. Everybody else was okay.
She was she was a bit offhand, not offhand, I'd say, but just like she didn't look at anybody, talk to anybody. She never smiled once, I don't think.
Yeah,
but, yeah, shame really.
maybe she was staying in character. Who knows?
Maybe could be
Felicity Jones.
Not
that's the
Kendall.
fella.
Yes.
Welsh. That explains it.
There
So
she
we have
goes
her,
running.
We have it escaping, don't we, into this kind
Yeah.
of cave situation. And
Did they de-age her for this bit?
No, of course they didn't.
Just child
What are you
actor.
talking
yeah.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
Child actor.
Mm.
Oh
okay.
my god!
So she hides down a I don't know, a drain or something. I don't
No,
know
so
what
it's
it
a
is.
false rock, isn't it? But there's a drain in it, so
Oh,
it looks false. I mean, it's not real rock. She just opens it and she goes in. Kind of reminds me of the ice cap in View to a Kill when Roger Moore went in there, kind of thing. So yeah, it's not real.
And then we switch to modern day, don't we? We have a time jump, and we've got we're inside an imperial prison, which is an interesting one. And
Not as nice as the ones on the Death Star, is it? Like the one that lay.
no.
I look
The
like
nice, sleek, clean Death Star prisons. No, and we're
Mm.
told this is the Ring of Catherine. Brownie, have you ever experienced the ring of Catherine?
The ring of caffeine. Oh God Almighty! How do they come up with these things?
I hate
Yes.
when you get a ring of caffeine on your bills when you put your coffee.
It's quite painful. I wouldn't recommend it.
God help us, we're only early doors and we're already coming out with these.
Yeah. Moving on.
This is
Catherine Kennedy.
Kennedy. Very
Catherine
good.
Kennedy.
You can always rely on Wacky for a good pun. But this is one of the, I mean, already we've switched scenes here again. This is one of the flaws, I would say, of Rogue One. Swappers, I want to get your thoughts on this one, first of all. It does seem to leap around quite a lot at the early stage of this movie. So already we've gone from the scenes with Galen Erso briefly to older Jyn Erso at the prison, and now we've switched again to now the meeting Cassian for the first time. What do you make of this kind of leaping around from world to world and timeline to timeline?
I mean, it can get a bit discombobulating for the normies, I suppose. We're kind of used to all this sort of stuff as being sci-fi geeks and whatever, but because we all like Star Wars, we all knew the characters before we sat down and watched the film, so we know who's who. But you get someone who's going to walk in, sort of a new Star Wars fan or some kid or whatever, and never seen anything like it before. They're going to sit down and go, where did the woman go? Who's this guy with the moustache? What's going on? Hang on a minute, that's that guy from Fisherman's Friends. He's been in loads of stuff. He was in Casualty about a year ago. What's going on?
Daniel Mays. I've been in I can tell you, I've done a fair few shoots, and I think I must have done about 3 different shoots with him in it. I tell you what, he's one of the loveliest fucking guys ever. Like he would talk to you, and he's so funny. He just crack jokes all the time. He's such a laugh.
Oh, what a lovely guy.
He's a good guy.
Reaffirms your faith in the acting industry, doesn't it? When you hear about
he's a good guy. He's a down to earth geezer.
He's a good guy, and he gets a blaster bolt in the back. That's lovely. Look at this.
This is one thing I didn't agree with this character, how he just mercilessly shoots that guy in the back and doesn't say much about his character, does it? Really? Let's face it.
Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're making a bit of a thing of that in Andor as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Really playing with that.
Tear him down. Yeah, why not?
And then we switch again. So already we're switching another world. This time we're going to Jeddah. So it's a desert planet, folks. I know we haven't seen a desert planet in Star Wars before, so this will be interesting. And we get introduced to another character. They're giving us the full gamut of characters here. Problem being, any set stories for this character? What's his name? It's Riz Ahmed, isn't it?
Yeah, Riz. I mean, I rate him as an actor. He was fantastic in 4 Lions. And there's another film he was in. I can't remember what it was called. It's on Netflix. I can't remember what it is.
Was it? He plays a rock drummer. Is that the one?
No, no.
He's been in lots of films. He's been in
a few. Yeah, but I think he's a really good actor. And I liked his character in this. He's a bit of a light comic relief, which I like. The
one thing I don't understand is why Andor has got he's got a Spanish accent, hasn't he? Is it Spanish? But I mean, I don't understand, because in Star Wars, everybody had that plain American accent, apart from obviously the British guys. But you know what I mean? They had that plain accent. But how come Star Wars is suddenly filled with Irish people? Cockneys. You know what I mean? Suddenly,
as Christopher Eccleston said in Doctor Who, when he was asked about his accent, he said, "Well, why do you sound like you're from the north?" He said, "Well, every planet has a north."
Doesn't matter, but that doesn't matter. But as I said, I think for me, it just kind of breaks it for me. Like when I was watching, I don't know, that stupid Boba Fett thing when they all had British accents and stuff, and it just didn't work.
Maybe
for me,
accents out there just sound Spanish, but in fact they're just not Spanish. It's just
I don't know.
Similar.
Yeah, I don't know.
Solo. Every planet's got a Glasgow.
Yeah, so I'm saying, it just kind of breaks it for me. I don't know. Anyway, whatever.
Well, we're moving to
those fake accents like they have in the Rings of Power, like those fake Cod Irish accents. Oh God.
Who would ever have a fake accent? What's a ridiculous thing to do? Anyway, we're moving on to another planet, folks. We're changing again. It's Wobani or Wobani or whatever we're calling it. So on the puns, please, in the chat. Don't let me down for Wobani.
Wok Barney.
There you go.
Wok Barney.
Wok Barney.
God.
And
what is this? An Imperial... I can't see. What is it? A construction site or something or other?
Is that somewhere in China?
Looks like it, doesn't
Moving
it?
on.
Communist. Okay, and we've got Jyn Erso looking broody. I believe it's in the back of a prisoner transport here.
Well, why would they transferring her though?
Bad acting.
Oh, yeah, that explains it then.
She was the weak link in this film, really, wasn't she?
She was very, and it's just, I don't know.
Kathleen Kennedy inserted.
Yeah,
into the movie. That is Kathleen Kennedy.
I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. I know they were ticking a lot of boxes as well, you know, with the different accents and stuff like that as well. It kind of takes me out of it slightly, but it didn't diminish.
Kathleen Kennedy wanted her specifically in the movie to be an image of Kathleen Kennedy, effectively.
The thing is, though, if they got rid of Jane Ursa, was it Jane Ursa? What's her name? Something Ursa. If they got rid of Jen, okay, so if they got rid of her and they had Mads Mikkelsen as the main star, it wouldn't have made no difference to the story whatsoever, would it? No. Let's face it. So I think you guys are right. This is just the start of KK's reign, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
I would have loved that scene at the end when Mads Mikkelsen drops lips on Diego Luna on the beach. That would have been perfect. But
Can I
anyway,
just say, nice body warmer.
Hey, what?
What she's wearing?
Gilet.
Oh, is it Gilet now?
Is it body warmer?
Gilet.
What they called? I thought they were properly called before all this French nonsense.
While we're here, where is everyone putting Jenna? So in the hottest female?
No, she's not.
Actors.
No.
Certain angles, yes.
Top 5, even.
She's got funny teeth.
She's got big teeth.
Ian, you're not saying that she looks like a Who from Doctor Who, because that would not be right at all to say that.
The thing is, though, when they come to rescue her, and what she do, kick everybody's ass in the transport.
Porter.
It's ridiculous.
Can we get from the chat some common sense in the chat? Can you give me a rating for Felicity Jones in the chat, please?
Bigger teeth and tombstones and more gums than Wrigley.
Hold on.
Welcome to the body shaming channel.
Mental shaming.
You've just taken over from Brian. Let's see what she looks like on the internet.
Yeah, Brian.
On the interweb.
She's getting some.
Without a kit on, I'd give her a big, solid, throbbing.
Felicity.
What do you know?
Melvin's liking what he sees, as does Franco. Time Profit gives her a -5,000. So
there you go, Melvin,
Time
7.9.
Coming out today, folks. He's decided.
Franco 6. Time Profit, very difficult to please this guy.
Felicity Jones.
Right.
Let's have
oh my God, misogyny central.
Andy Mouse would definitely give a 1.
Oh, she looks good here with the blue top on. Bloody no.
All right, come on, let's move on.
Okay.
What's out of 10?
We get a classic Stormtrooper. Always good to see. I think that's one of the joys of Rogue One, wasn't it? It was so closely connected to the originals that we get a lot of, some would say member berries, but I would say just.
I remember Stormtroopers.
Ooh.
Yeah, but she's being
first order shit for a start.
She's being rescued here, so let's see. And we get our first look at a brand new character, new droid, and Brownie. I know you like robots, Brownie. What do you think of K2SO?
I remember watching the film at the cinema. He was probably the best character out of the entire movie. Which was like with, what was that series? Obi-Wan. Wasn't it? We all adopted the loader droid as our favorite. He had the best death out of the entire series. Rest in peace, Caliclon. So they, for some reason, they can't do humans properly, the writers, but the robots are always spot on.
It's because they're robotic.
Hang on, Brownie. What about L337 from Solo? Surely that's
that one should have been burnt. That one should have been burnt. But I do like the other characters in this film, though. I think the other characters were quite well done.
Rest in peace, Caliclon. Franco, rest in peace, Caliclon. Yes.
Is someone going to explain who the fuck Calculon is?
A sad loss, guys. A sad loss.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but anyway. Anyway, let's go to another planet, everybody. It's the 9th planet in as many minutes. We're now going to Yavin 4. We all know Yavin 4. It's the
that ship there.
Base. There we go. It's like Mayan temple almost, isn't it?
That ship.
The U-bend wing.
Yeah, it looks like the one from Buck Rogers.
Ah.
It does. It does.
Okay.
Sorry, carry on.
We're reliably informed it's the Rebel Alliance headquarters. And
In the chat, here you go. Yavin and Stacey.
Clive Roberts takes the lead. Come on, dark side of the walk. You're going to have to step up. Very good.
Yes, very good time profit.
Oh, he gets the laugh track. Wow. Brownie's impressed. So we have Mon Mothma. Brownie,
Who?
a woman of a certain age. Is that doing anything for you? Or
Quite attractive, yes.
what about never mind the one on the right. What about the one on the left, the lady?
Santa.
Quite attractive, yes.
Good.
They got her look right. They got her look right, which is
Are they
important.
breathing?
They've got a pulse. It's right up your street.
Excellent.
So Mon Mothma, is this isn't this the actress who's playing her currently in Andor, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is. Oh God, she looks different. Okay. Must be the hair
Older.
and the beard. I don't know. But this feels very Star Warsy. I mean, we've got a command control room. It's
definitely
rather nice scene, isn't it?
Definitely.
It's got that 70s science fiction look,
Yeah.
which was right for Star Wars.
I
I mean,
mean,
when we did our hair and makeup and stuff, they deliberately tried to make it look as sort of 70s as they could.
So they give you sideburns.
Yeah, that's what everything we need with these movies. I think they got that perfect. That's what any approach to Star Wars movies should be, especially set in this time period. They need that 70s aesthetic. And even the guys this guy here, the general in the middle of the screen, just looked like he'd been plucked straight out of the 70s as well.
What is up with Andor's boots? Why are they so small? What the hell?
He looks very small. It doesn't look very tall, does he?
He is a small guy, I think. Yeah, he's only about 5'7", I think, which is unusual for a leading.
You want your heroes to be midgets?
They couldn't give him some boots that come up to his knee or something like Harrison Ford's ones. What the hell's this about?
No, they went Shoreditch with that, didn't they? Shoreditch twat boots.
There it is.
Oh, it's a nice ship.
I really like the design of that. I think they did really well.
Nice shot of some male pattern baldness there. We love a bit of that in
His wig's
HD.
just blown off. That's what it is.
And then we're back to this crazy dude. It's Riz Ahmed. What's his damn character called? I'll find out if it kills me. Bodhi Rock. No, Bodhi Rook. Bodhi Rook.
That monster came and read his brain, and the guy says, "Oh, you'll have no brain left," and suddenly he's okay. See, that's another thing that doesn't make any sense in the script as well. I'm like, well, why even show us that scene? Nothing's going to happen to him. It's like, okay.
Yeah, so it is. I think someone said it earlier. It moves along quite quickly. This film, even in these kind of setup scenes, and he's been brought before, and another character introduction. He's been brought before, and I'm scrabbling for his name. Obviously, it's Forrest Whitaker playing Saw Gerrera.
Legend.
Yeah, and obviously this character is established in Rebels, was it, or one of the
cartoon? I think
cartoon things.
Yeah.
Yes. Swappers. Saw Gerrera, snog, marry or avoid.
First of all, I'd be wondering why he's got a Saw Gerrera and if he can get some treatment for it before that. To be honest with you, I don't want to catch anything, that some space.
Tell you what, you don't want to be asthmatic in space because you have to wear that entire suit. That's awful.
We know of only one other asthmatic person in Star Wars, so at least they're getting the asthmatics covered with their diversity quota in these.
If you're asthmatic in Star Wars, you have to wear an entire bodysuit. That's pretty awful. I mean, like, seriously, get some universal health care, for fuck's sake.
We haven't seen any portable inhalers yet, have we? So that's something they're yet to cover. You just pop one out of your pocket. Not too far
right,
away.
well, it is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's a good glimpse of the Death Star and a bit of CGI Peter Cushing. So we were having a little chat about this earlier, but we have this. I think it's a really nice scene, and this interaction between Krennic and Peter Cushing's character. What's his goddamn name? It's escaped me. What's
Moff Tarkin?
Moff what?
Moff Tarkin.
Moff Tarkin. Moff Larkin.
And it's all CGI, isn't it?
I don't understand. So
CG Tarkin.
The thing that doesn't work is his eyes. His eyes looks dead. and plus his face. But the thing is that I don't understand why they didn't move the real actor's eyes down into those slots so that he could at least have some kind of life in that that CGI thing.
Even
But they
then,
didn't.
they had pretty decent effects. I mean, you can do it on your phone nowadays, but even then, I think they had people who did a better job, even before the Luke Skywalker thing in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So it's quite embarrassing when you got people with like a $500 laptop able to make better deep fakes than Disney.
Well, now they can.
And then get a job at Disney.
But this was the first time they tried something like this. Really, they didn't have deep fake. I don't think
then. I think they did.
No, they didn't. They didn't. I don't think they did. Anyway,
It was very early days.
Yes, I'm saying even if they did have it, it wasn't that developed as it is developed now. So, but with this, what doesn't work is basically his eyes. When you look at him, you can tell those eyes are not. You can see there's no soul in him, and that's the thing that doesn't work.
The waxy skin, because they put too much translucency in the layers.
Also, the guy from Casualty played Peter Cushing's role, which is interesting because he does sound like him a lot.
Brownie, just it is Black History Month, so could you read out the next message from Melvin Deeply, if you would, please?
Okay, in the chats, Melvin Deeply, Forrest Whitaker's eye is so squinty that when he cries, the tears runs down his butt crack.
There we go. Happy Black History Month, everyone.
Has he got a glass eye?
Yeah.
Anybody
definitely.
know? I think he has, doesn't he? It's weird. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Welcome to the body shaming channel.
Yes, no body part is
we
safe
do
in
miss
the
Brian.
Alliance. So we move away from CGI talk, and we've not had him in his full glory, but we get this flashback scene, don't we, where they're almost having like cocktails or something, and it's when obviously Galen and Krennic were working together,
friends.
Yeah, interesting.
My daughter comes out and do I protect you and all that rubbish.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we're back to Jeddah. Lovely shot of.
Do you know what? Another thing that bothered
Star
me about this
Destroyer.
film is sorry, mate. Another thing
No,
that bothers
go
me about this film is how they keep throwing in smoke into the visual effects and the sun. You know, the rays of the sun and all that, and it just again that kind of threw me off slightly because again, Star Wars wasn't. Yeah, every time they did visual effects in Star Wars, I'm talking about the first three. Obviously, they never really went that far with it. That but anyway,
J.J. Abrams' School of Special Effects.
Yeah.
Oh, and it is a lazy eye. I've just checked. It wasn't a glass eye. It's
not a glass eye. Oh, okay.
Do Star Destroyers stay in the atmosphere like that, though?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
The thing is, though, I don't know.
Well, don't talk to me about gravity and space. I've got no idea on those matters. So
there's an up and down in Star Wars universe space, apparently, isn't there? From we learned that from Last of the Jedi,
space bombers, and the rest of it. So we get to a good old classic viewfinder shot, or whatever we call it here.
Viewmaster.
There's K2SO posing. And here's Riz Ahmed
in a Star Wars
tentacled
movie.
up, isn't he?
That's what I'm saying. He goes to him, oh yeah, elite, you won't have your mind after this, and it's like you come back to him and he's still got his mind. I was like, well, why even have this scene then if he wasn't going to be damaged?
No, he's just got a massive cock that he can wrap around him.
I've got to say this particular creature and this concept was one of my least, among the least favorite parts of this movie. I don't think that worked particularly well.
It's a bit like Star Trek, the little thing you put in the ear, isn't it?
Yeah, Wrath of Khan. Yeah,
bit of a trope.
SETI Alpha bug. Yeah.
City Alpha 5. Yeah, that one.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
SETI Alpha 6.
Yeah, I was an extra in this scene here somewhere. I don't
I can
know.
see your arm.
No, that's on the rebel. No, the Imperial base.
So where are you then?
Wandering around in the background, looking tired, probably. Yeah.
Oh, and
Oh, is that you?
These two
Is that
guys,
you on the
don't we?
left?
It's stupid why they bring these two
you on the
back.
left,
It's
Brown. I'm on the
ridiculous.
right.
Why do they have to bring these two back? Stupid.
He's got a huge pair of testicles under his jaw.
Yeah.
No, it's arse mouth.
Ass mouth.
He's got a name, you know. I can't remember his name. Though.
No, don't call him that. His name's Bollock Mouth. Don't be so rude.
Arse mouth.
It's Dr. Ezra Van or something like that. You know what? I know the man who'll know exactly who these two are, and he'll tell us all about them. Mr. Brown.
There you go. There you go. Time Prophet in the chats at Mr. Brown Alliance. That's me. You know, I watched Andor series. I didn't know it was the same guy from this movie.
Yeah, not surprised. Not surprised. Not surprised.
Lol.
There we go. No, Swappers, I'm sure will furnish us with knowledge on these two characters. What can you tell us about these Swappers? Where do we know them from?
That's my history teacher and his dog, I think. That's Dr. Evazan on the left and Ponda Baba on the right.
Yes,
that's it. Ponda Baba. That's it.
Melvin on the money. Well done, Melvin.
Yep. It's top work, Melvin. And the next time we see these, of course, is when Luke Skywalker gets into a bit of a kerfuffle with them.
He doesn't like you. He doesn't like you.
I don't like you. Moving on.
Don't like your face. Well, look at your face. Jeez.
Is it just me? I mean, Ponda Baba is obviously Ponda Baba, but the other guy looks nothing like I remember him.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He
doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
He should get some plastic surgery for that nose. What's wrong with him? Seriously.
It's a horrible look, isn't it?
Well, Andor looks a lot younger in this.
He does indeed.
As opposed to the as opposed to the TV series, which is set before. So how does that work?
Exactly.
You'd think they'd use some de-aging software.
Maybe he just slept in that water pool thing that Boba Fett slept in, and he got younger. Maybe, I don't know.
Nip and tuck.
What's that thing called? What's that thing called? Back to tank. Yeah. This is one of my favourite scenes.
Yes, good scene. This one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go on, Mega Geek, take us through it.
Well,
it's a battle scene, isn't it?
Yeah, there's basically the Empire are roaming around, bullying people and stuff, showing them who's boss, and then the rebel. I don't know if it's a rebel alliance, but it's the rebels definitely attack them because they want the stuff in the tank. I don't know what the stuff was in the tank, but they attack them, and there's that big fight, and we're introduced to who's the blind guy? I can't remember his name, and the other fella.
Chiratemwe.
I just got the feeling those two were gay for some reason, and especially towards the ending as well. Yeah. But it's a really great scene as well, and I love when he comes out. Donnie Yen comes out with his stick and beats the crap out of the stormtroopers. That was a really good scene.
Yeah, badass.
Yeah, it was. We need more of that in Star Wars, especially today.
We're on a desert planet, but Cassian Andor's got a Hoth jacket on. I don't know what's going on there, but
maybe it's the only jacket that could fit him. He's so small. Maybe I don't know.
Perhaps it's winter.
He's so small. It's like a little shrew, and they lose a lot of heat.
Yeah.
Poor Diego. Anyway, there's Jyn Erso saving someone.
Yeah, little boy.
It was in the middle of summer when we filmed this as well, so it was a really hot day, and we had to all these layers.
Jyn Erso saving Cassian Andor there.
She saves the little kid, doesn't she? Was in the road, and she saves the kid because there was all lasers going over the place.
I thought it was Diego Luna.
I don't know who it is. I don't care.
Is that the kid from The Rise of Soywalker? You know, the one who's sweeping up in the horse pen.
Don't even talk to me about
Broom
that
Boy.
film. That film sucks.
Yeah, Broom Boy. Yeah.
Big time.
I'll say I was keeping track there, Brown.
So
Moving on.
I think someone's going to throw a grenade here, and it's all going to kick off.
Yeah.
And there's little
Yeah.
Cassian again in his oversized coat.
One of the best lines
Parker.
in this sequence is when they put the hood over Donnie Yen's face, and he goes, "Really, I'm blind."
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
quite funny.
Good gag.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we have.
It's a good action scene, though.
Yeah.
It's a good action scene. I really liked it.
Yeah.
Kind of
I
works.
thought so too. Nice shot there as well. And shout out to not Brian Young, who's not joining us tonight, but he has done all the legwork, I believe, Brownie, on this. We should.
Yes,
give
he
him-
produced the show. Thank you,
Oh.
Brian.
What a legend.
Did we find out what the rebels were stealing out of the tanks? What were they? Those little cylinders, red cylinders. Anybody know? No, obviously. not.
Fuel is probably like $10 a gallon out there. So, you know,
All right.
times are tough.
All right.
Well, we get an ATST. Is that right? ATST walker, Scout walker.
I remember Scout Walkers.
And also, did you recognize the fact that they copied that sequence from Star Wars when what's his name, Andor shoots the stormtrooper, then he thinks he's safe, and then like 6 others come around the corner. That was just like the Harrison Ford sequence. Do you remember that one? Oh, well, never mind, sorry. Carry on.
Is that Jin kicking ass and K2SO?
Yeah. When she shoots the robot, and he goes, "Did you know that wasn't me?" That was quite funny as well.
Yeah, I do like. I've got to say, I've got a soft spot for K2SO. It's
AT-ATs.
Very dry. Very dry. AT-ATs, yeah.
And also, isn't the stormtrooper's costume to protect them? There's Ursa, where her name's, hitting him with a stick. I mean, he's got a helmet on. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Just some of it doesn't make any sense to me. What's the point?
It's about 12 there.
There was one stormtrooper who was actually a woman.
Was there?
Wow.
Yeah.
Did she get killed? I love that scene where what's the robot called again?
K2SO.
When they're going, "What didn't I tell you to stay in the ship?" And he goes, "Yeah, you don't need him." And he takes the bomb and he throws it behind himself and he blows up all those stormtroopers behind him. I thought that was quite cool. See, this is what you need in Star Wars now. You need these cool characters to do cool things, and which it's just like in Andor. I spoke about this before. He's just so wet and flat, and nothing really happens. This is what we need. Something like this. Even though it's still got
not
the
allowed
agenda in it,
anymore.
it needs something like this.
Not allowed anymore. That's for boys. Fun is for boys, so they have to make everything miserable because girls like things being miserable, apparently, according to Hollywood.
Yeah, the one thing I give this film credit for, I mean, it really you got that sense of adventure, that sense of a kind of ragtag band coming together and going on a mission, and it in doing that, it was a naturally diverse cast, and it was very believable, and it wasn't forced, and it is held in quite high regard, I would say, Rogue One by most people. So credit to them.
Did this come out before or after Force?
This was after. This was the next release after Force Awakens. Yes,
but this just goes. Sorry, go ahead, Lee. No, I was just saying this just goes to prove that goes to prove that you can make a Star Wars film with new characters. You can do it, and do it well. Why do we have to have every Star Wars film have a character we've already seen? You can make a TV show with new characters. They don't have to be linked with the old Star Wars or the new. Do you know what I mean? So, but anyway, whatever.
Yeah, and can I just say, go back? Just have to say, I love the designs. I think the costume and alien designs on this film are absolutely fantastic. And maybe if they had people dressed like that at that hotel in Disneyland, maybe the people will actually pay to go and see it. Because that would be phenomenal. But of course, it's too much.
See, another cool bit is when they're dragging away Endor and Jane. I saw whatever her name is, and what's his name? Donnie Yen gets up and he says, "Oh, don't take them away. They weren't doing anything." And he's so cool. He comes down the step with his stick and stuff like that. Then he gives them an arse whipping, and it's really good. It's really cool. This sequence alone made it worth me going to see the film in the cinema. Definitely.
And arse walking.
Yeah. It was really cool. It's a cool scene. But anyway, whatever. They don't do that anymore, do they?
No.
We have to say, Dark Side of the Walk. He's trying his best. He said it's not an ATST. It's a Scout Walker.
Yeah, he's on fire.
Yeah, Scout Walker. Yeah,
he's
in the background. Yeah, Scout Walker in the background.
It's sizzling tonight. Sizzling.
Yes. So we're in prison. We're in prison with Diego, Luna, and Jin. And is this? Oh, this is what do you call it? A hologram message from her father, isn't it?
Yeah, her dad tells her that he's made what is it, an error. He's made the Death Star have an error, so they can take it out, or whatever. Yeah, a flaw in it.
You're my only hope. You're my only hope.
That kind of thing. But yeah. But and also another thing that really bothers me as well is that the Forrest Whitaker character, he just stands there and dies. It's like you've been fighting all this time. You gave that huge speech to what's her name? Felicity. What's her name's character? And then he just, after everything is fought for, he just stood there and dies. It just doesn't.
Well, look at the quality of life he's got. He has to stay alive in that bloody thing, right?
But he's fighting for a cause. He's fighting for a cause. That's what I'm saying.
It is bit, isn't he?
No, I don't know.
Is this a rare example of Disney actually building in using plot and backstory to actually almost enhance the Lucas originals? Because everyone said about the originals, why would they build a Death Star with a flaw in it? Well, they've actually given us a really credible backstory of why that would be done.
How can you enhance perfection, though? You know, it really didn't need it. I mean, I suppose in a way, it's kind of like paying lip service to the extended universe, isn't it? I suppose, but without actually.
A bit of a love letter.
Yeah.
No,
well,
I think it's a good idea. Personally, I think it's a really good idea that they did this film. You can tell JJ had the best intentions for Force Awakens, but it got sabotaged by KK, and you can tell the director for this one had the best intentions. You know what I mean? Maybe this was too late for her to interfere with. Maybe she was concentrating on Force Awakens at the time to put the agenda in more so. This is just the start of it, remember? That's why this one is okay.
That woman was everywhere. That woman was everywhere. She was
even in your dressing room. Was she in your dressing room as well?
I would not be surprised. That woman was literally. She was like a phantom that was like a shadow that just was everywhere all at once. She was like that in Solo. She was like that in Rogue One. You know, she was there every day.
Wow, we've got some beautiful visuals here, by the way, and credit again to Brian, but they're unleashing the power of the Death Star. Look at that explosion. It's absolutely...
It took so long to get to them as well.
Yeah.
Ages and ages to get to them.
So they've unleashed the power of the Death Star on Jeddah, haven't they? And this puts them, our heroes, in imminent danger, so they need to escape rather rapidly. And we are building up to Saw Gerrera's rather pointless death.
But before this was a real we had that ton of tension. You know, it actually felt tense. I think this was the moment.
Yeah.
But before this, we had that conversation between the Peter Cushing character and the main villain, and he was going to take credit for the Death Star, wasn't he? And he gets really pissed off before this scene, doesn't he? So. That was a good scene. I thought that was a good scene. But anyway.
So here we go. The explosion.
It's the Taliban
through Jeddah. Yes, and just one less goddamn desert planet for us to worry about, I guess.
Yeah.
And they're scrabbling to make it to the ship, and they do get away, but sadly not Saw. He's left behind to have an epic moment, and Yes,
He had a chance,
scrub
though.
greens.
Yeah,
He
there was
said
no
no, he
reason
didn't
for
want
him
to.
to stay behind, was there, at all?
There was none. There was none whatsoever.
No.
He's fought all his life against the Empire, and he just lets everything go at that moment in time. Why?
Well,
But
that's
Makes
what
didn't he run out
Luke
whatever it
Skywalker
was,
did.
didn't he run out of
Hmm?
everything that he needed to keep him alive? Like, or
No, that's
something?
not. They could have easily kept him. Oh, I don't know. Just didn't make any sense to me. But anyway,
I can't remember.
I might have missed something. I might have missed something. Who knows?
Sorry, bro.
So we are back at the Death Star kind of command room, wherever. We're back with Krennic and Tarkin, and this is where we get a little more
Yeah.
of CGI Tarkin, isn't it? So
Yeah, we do.
we kind of get that close up of the face. I mean, the one thing about it's the scenes here are more in darkness and shadow, so they get away with it a little bit.
Not really. I don't
No,
think.
you're not
No,
convinced.
he still looks very. I say when I saw it in the cinema, I thought, wow, this is amazing. And now I watch it and I think, nah, he doesn't. He looks, Canny Valley kind of thing. It just doesn't look right. I don't know. Anyway,
Why are they flying all over different planets? I don't understand.
Oh, this is it is sadly one of the it's a little bit of a narrative flaw with Rogue One. They do leap around a fair bit. So we've got another planet here, Edu.
Romeo Tango
Where's Bravo?
November Zulu. Is plot armor expired? It did, mate. Moving up.
Hmm.
So Edu is well, this is the planet where we soon to find out Galen Erso is being held hostage while he works with a team of engineers, and there's a kind of dual thing going on, isn't it? Because Cassian is there to effectively assassinate him. Jin is there to save him, I guess.
Dad,
so,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we get this standoff again. Nice interaction. I think whenever we have we don't get it a lot in this film, but whenever we have these two actors, they play off each other quite well, I think.
His 20 minutes are up almost.
Quality actors
in this film.
So this is little Cassian lining up his shot. There we go. He's in the sights.
I didn't take the shot, he says. I didn't take it. Yeah, right, mate. Okay.
And then we get Galen's team of engineers all lined up and summarily executed, I believe.
Yeah. Every time you say Galen, it always reminds me of that chimpanzee in Planet of the Apes for some reason. Yeah. I don't
know.
Only me and you can remember that.
Galen. Roddy McDowell.
Roddy McDowell, of course.
And then I think I'm right in saying the X-Wings come to the cavalry appears, and we have ourselves a bit of a dogfight almost at the base.
Yeah, because they lost communication and they didn't think that Andor was going to do his mission, so they sent out the X-Wings to take everything out, I guess.
This is almost decent Star Wars, isn't it?
It does work.
Yeah. Why have we not had any stuff like this?
And it does move quite rapidly, which is quite nice. And the music is really well done as well. It sounds like John Williams, but it's not John Williams. So it really does. They did do a really good job on this. There are certain things that didn't make any sense, but they did a really good job. There was too many Easter eggs in this though. Too many as far as I was concerned. But there you go.
Yeah, it does move along really well, and then the last third in particular is just outstanding. It just really ramps up. So we have what is tried to be played off as an emotional scene with Jin and the dying Galen, dad.
Galen.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on. Yeah. Why? Sorry, go ahead. Go on.
No, I was going to say, I think Krennic's makes an escape, doesn't he? Like
he was injured, wasn't he? He got blown up. He was injured. He got blown up because remember the X-wing fired at all the stormtroopers, and he was in the blast, and then he was okay, and then they dragged him to the ship, didn't they?
Yes.
Do you remember that bit?
He lives to fight another day, and yes, look at the sexual chemistry here. It's almost non-existent.
Boom. Jinx.
And then, are we? Is this what I think it is? Are we?
Yes,
It's
What do I think it is?
it
it's
is. Yes.
Mr. Vader and
It's
his
Vader.
Indiana Jones introduction. That's what it is. So there you go.
Pappy, it's Pappy Vader. Yes.
And
There
also,
he
his
is.
voice didn't sound like Darth Vader. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Yeah,
really
it
didn't.
was James Earl Jones, wasn't it? But it was, yeah, it just didn't sound quite.
He's probably a lot older now, so.
Well, he's now officially retired, I
He
believe.
has. Yes,
hasn't
he's
he?
retired,
Yeah.
hasn't he? So yes.
Well, he's retired now because Angela Lansbury has gone. They were doing a play together, weren't they? Both of them.
Oh.
Driving Miss Daisy, apparently it was, on stage. And now she's gone. They can't carry on with the production unless they, replace her, I guess.
It's driving, pushing up daisies now.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on.
So, gosh, so we have an interaction here with Krennic and Vader, and obviously we're all excited to see Vader on screen again. Swappers, there was a line in this particular exchange which some people didn't enjoy, where I think off the top of my head, Vader says something like, "Don't choke on your aspirations," or something like that. Yeah, what do you make of that, Swappers? The whole
I thought it
scene
was
and that
fine.
line?
I didn't mind it at
you're
all.
cool
I
with
didn't
that?
mind it. I mean, a lot of people sort of, I don't know why they didn't like it. It was a dad joke or something, but fine by me. I don't see why Vader can't come up with a little bit of dark humor every so often, But I like seeing Krennic get choked a little bit. He's a bit of a nasty guy. And I like Vader asserting his power and his position. And nice to see him. It was the first time we've seen him on screen for God knows how long.
Yeah,
Proper Vader, that is. And it's nice to see him sort of, just sort of giving him this sort of whimsical little demonstration of his power without sort of flexing his muscles at all. It's just like a flick of his fingers and he can just put someone down straight away.
Personally,
Personally,
in
I
the Star Wars film, didn't he, with that bloke?
But you see, have you noticed that they gave him the same mask that he had in Star Wars?
Yeah, with the red lenses.
In Empire Strikes Back, he has a different mask, doesn't he? So, But yeah.
I've got to say, when I was watching this, I thought that's all we were getting of Vader. I thought just this one little scene, a little insert. I thought, okay, great to see him. So when he crops up again later on, I nearly wept myself. I did.
But the question is, why did Krennic go to see Vader? I don't understand.
Was he not trying to almost gain favor over Tarkin? Was that?
Yeah,
the
that
plan?
I built this. It was all me. Blah blah blah. Yeah,
I see.
You're correct. Yes.
Yeah, he's like going above Tarkin's head, isn't he?
I remember that bit.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are again another very Star Warsy scene, and for those who are bothering to watch Andor, I think this is a common critique I'm hearing about the Andor series. It just doesn't feel like Star Wars, whereas Rogue One, I think, does a really good job of feeling like Star Wars. It has a lot of those familiar scenes that we expect and we know and we love, and this is one of them: the gathering of the rebels and the kind of briefing.
In fact, right, they should have released Rogue One before they released Force Awakens. That would have been better. Probably much better if they did that. But anyway.
So we are preparing what is going to be a do or die mission, and turn out to be die as it happens.
Yeah, but yeah. So what happened in this scene is that the rebels decide that they're not going to fight back. They'd rather, hide because they don't stand a chance against the Star Destroyer. But Jane, Eyesore, and Orr decide to take matters into their own hands and get in a ship and go to the planet and do their thing. Basically,
they rebel.
That's right. They're called rebels for a reason. So there you go.
And we have an old favourite here, Space Jimmy Smits.
Yeah,
there he is.
LA Law. Yeah,
yeah, good to see him back. And Yeah, I mean, all these things help tie it in, don't they? It's then, it's
They do, and the climax is pretty good as far as I was concerned. When I was in the cinema, I was loving it. I was loving those things getting blown up and seeing the people from the first Star Wars film in the X-wings and stuff like that. It was all a
Yeah.
lot of fun. It was a huge amount of fun. I thought this film was. It's a shame that they didn't carry on with that kind of tone in the
More
rest of the
planet
films.
hopping.
So it's another planet indeed, Brownie, and this time it's Scarif, and I do think we now sort of fixed on this planet. No more planet hopping, thankfully.
Yes.
We have this is it for the home run now. We're on the planet of
Yeah.
Scarif, which is actually a
this is where I
nicely
work.
designed planet, isn't it?
I think it's a really good climax, though. Personally, I mean, even though a lot of people say they didn't like the climax, I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought,
Right.
and also I thought it was very brave what they did at the end as well. But anyway, it's just me.
So again, another very familiar sort of trope, if you like, where I think have they got access codes and they're trying to pass themselves off as an Imperial ship
Yep.
to gain entry. So it's all that kind of very Star Warsy vibe, which we like. This was an unusual design. Problem being, give me your thoughts on this kind of remote space gateway thing that's going on. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What do you think?
It's a bit weird, the design of it, but you know what? It does make for a pretty dramatic scene with all those sort of destroyers and crashing into each other. It's quite an omni shambles of a clusterfuck of an event, which I quite like. To use all the things. And here we are on the planet I was working on. So what can I say? I'm biased. Yeah.
This allowed them to kind of separate the land action and the space battle, didn't it? And then obviously, eventually, as we'll see, some X-wings break through the gateway there. But it did. I mean, it does build to a really nice climax. I thought Rogue One.
It does.
And then we've got the tower.
I mean, I didn't care about anyone, but I still thought the climax was pretty good. It was very, very Star Wars. That's what I thought. More so than the Force Awakens. Personally, I thought.
Okay, so they're getting ready to go on this raid, and we're starting to see a little bit more of Scarif and this kind of tropical reef style.
There's my office. There's my office.
Yeah. Wow. So come on, problem being, give us the lowdown. Where was this shot? Tell us more about this scene.
God, there's been so many. It's shot at Pinewood, and but what? When I was working there, I actually walked into one of the offices and actually had the Han Solo's original jacket on display.
Wow,
it's really nice. Really
cool. Did you not steal it?
Yeah.
He's wearing it now.
I was on my own. No one was around. I could have, whatever. But they got a huge sort of outdoorsy bit, all the palm trees and all that stuff. And
so they shot that scene in England. Yeah, the palm trees thing.
Yeah.
Oh wow, did not know that.
Yeah, they put all the sand down. Yeah, it was a really sunny day, fucking hot. And we were wearing layers, of course. But they did, whilst we were filming, we were told to stop what we're doing because they were going to do this other scene on the other side of this set, and it was the one where they had all these explosions going off, like boom, 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 all in a line, and all the sort of stormtroopers flying and stuff. And it was huge. I mean, like you could feel your eyelashes curling back because it was so hot. It was just these huge, like napalm kind of type of explosions triggered off one after the other. It was fantastic. Really exciting to watch that. We were very lucky that day.
So we've got another classic Star Wars trope, the old disguise in Imperial costume.
No coat? They should have a big coat hiding Jane Eyesore, shouldn't they?
That's how you do it. Yes.
Yeah, the robot.
Well, little Cassian could have hidden inside some.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the robot could have put a coat on.
That's right.
Hid Jin Erso under his coat.
Yes.
Jane Eyesore, yeah. Could have.
Oh, good God!
They
Thanks
played
very
the
much, Obi-Wan.
they played the old Back to the Future thing, didn't they? When the that Bodhi fella had the line to connect to the ship and it was too short.
Yes.
Back to the Future trope. Yeah, they play that. Yeah.
88 miles an hour.
Oh.
Okay, so we're in the forest, and we're about to get another type of stormtrooper, the shore trooper, I believe it's known as, which just looks like a regular stormtrooper, but wades through water. That's the only difference. So this tower is going to be quite critical to the plot because we find out that this is the tower that they'll need to transmit.
Is that an
the
ivory
plans.
tower?
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
Kathleen Kennedy's at the top of it. Yeah, so it must
Yeah.
be. Yeah.
Yes, Kathleen likes a dildo-shaped tower. That's her favorite.
She does.
So
also, I couldn't believe when Isor and Andor went into that place to get the what is it, the things they can broadcast. It looked like something out of a like when
IBM.
you go for a computer. IBM, yeah, it did, didn't it? I was like, what the hell is this?
tape or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, or weird. HAL 2000,
Yeah,
pulling all the RAM out.
So there's some stormtroopers getting their butts kicked.
Daisy.
Yeah, that's a great scene as well.
Your answer to.
I'm afraid I can't do that, Dave.
Donnie, what's his name? Donnie Yen, where his name is? Donnie
Darko.
Yen. Donnie Yen. He's really good in this film.
Oh, there's my office. There's me sat there. Hold on, that's me. I think standing over or sitting down, like one of those two on the far left.
Genuinely?
Yep.
You on the
One
left.
of them is me. I was right at the end, and I had a schematic of the Death Star on the console.
Is it you on the square head then with the hat?
Yeah, either that one or the one. I was sat down, but then there's another time I was standing up, so I'm either one of those two.
Did you feel sexy in that uniform?
Not particularly. Actually, it was quite nice.
Did you feel good? Did you feel good?
Brown, you know we're still on air, don't you, Brown?
Oh shit!
Is that all green? Is that all green screen, Lee? Was it green screen?
Yeah.
Right, gotcha.
Did you feel good in the uniform though?
Oh, good God!
It was comfortable, apart from it being really buttoned up quite tight around the neck. But you know those little things they put in your pockets, those little
code cylinders.
Call them. Really.
Yeah.
I've
Did you wear lingerie underneath the uniform?
Well, one doesn't like to brag. One doesn't like to talk about these things. No.
I don't have underwear in space.
In the chat, Matt G. Bacon.
But I know what they were trying to do for the climax, though. They were trying to copy the Magnificent Seven, and it's so obvious that all the main characters that was driving the film would get killed. Just like in Magnificent Seven, all the main characters got killed apart from 2 or 3. And so they were trying to do this with that, especially when Donnie Yen goes out there and presses the switch, tries to get the switch and make something work. I can't remember where to make work, but yeah, it kind of reminds me of Magnificent Seven. But the problem is, Magnificent Seven, you cared about the characters, but you didn't really care about any of these characters in this at all. It's a shame, really. Never mind.
Yeah, the only, slight problem was that with such a big cast of characters, we didn't really get the time, did we, to really invest in them and, like you say, care about them. I mean, there's an argument. What's everyone's thoughts? Swappers, I know from you for a little while. Do you think this might have worked better as a series, like we're getting a lot of now? I mean, given more time to get to know the characters and build the plot and so on. What do you think? How would Rogue One of the Disney Plus show have been for you?
In hindsight, I think it probably would have worked better as a series. As it is as a movie, it's not, because it's not one of the legacy, as they call it, movies. It doesn't sort of yes, it kind of is its own story, but it does borrow a lot from other stuff. And I think stories that do that are a little bit derivative usually work better as a series, in my opinion.
It's a bit Blade 7, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it is a bit sort of like you said, Magnificent Seven and heist movie in space, isn't it? I suppose, but it probably would have worked better because none of the characters are quite have that star quality. I suppose K2SO's up there. but none of them quite reached that height. So it is a little bit kind of TV-ish movie, isn't it? In a way, the
No,
production.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think the movie works very well in the cinema. I think it's a cinema movie. This is, especially the climax at the ending. You know, the climax is definitely like Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi. It really does work very well. It's just that it's the development of the characters and the stupid little things like the wife coming out in the beginning. Those little things spoil it slightly, but overall, the film is a good yarn, and it's a great entertainment as far as I'm
in the
concerned.
chat, uninspired reviewer. Tight scripts, a movie still fine, I think. Yeah.
I think you just pointed out as well, Ian, about about Jyn Erso's mum sort of coming out. I think that was another Kathleen Kennedy interference moment, wasn't it? It's like woman having to show empowerment, sort of.
She did interfere a lot with this.
But the thing is, though,
She
so
did.
if you look at the
Solo as
main
well.
stars, it's Donnie Yen, right? The guy, his friend, Bodhi, right? What you call it, Jane Eyesore, and
Doyle.
Orr. So 5. You got 5 people that you're supposed to focus on, that you're supposed to basically, care about. But the only problem with this is that they never made them do, apart from Donnie Yen. And his friend, they never made them do anything really cool, did they? So if you look at Magnificent Seven, all of them did something really cool. You know, like the beginning with Yul Brynner and Steve McQueen with the hearse, and what's his name with the knife. The knife fight was cool as well. Do you know what I mean? But they didn't. They should have done something with the other characters that made them stand out, and then you would kind of care about them slightly. The only people I did care about was Donnie Yen and his friend. I really felt sad when Donnie Yen got killed. He was one of the coolest characters in the film, right?
Yeah, it was a good
So but I didn't feel anything for Jane Eyesore at all.
No,
I didn't feel anything for her at all.
I was let down because I was kind of led to believe there were going to be a lot more alien characters in it. From the trailer and from the production stills and stuff and the sketches and things like that, they had a lot more alien characters that looked like they were going to be starring roles, but all we got was a load of humans and not very many straight white males, as I noticed and repeated views, unless they were Empire guys, obviously. So I think that's Kathleen Kennedy again, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. As I said, I think this was just the start of it, and I think this movie works very well as an entertainment vehicle. That's what I think. You know, if you think about it too much, then you'll find loads of holes in the plot. But it does work very, very well in the cinema. I went to see it in 4D. Would you believe, where the chairs were moving around and smoke was everywhere and water was sprayed in your face and all that? Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But I don't know.
So we did have a bit of CGI talking in there, but we're now back on Yavin, aren't we? The rebel base on Yavin. So we're building up to what becomes quite a nice space battle where they actually use some footage from the original movies, I believe so, and some of the original characters again to give us that tie-in. Nice that they got the rebel transporter there taking the pilots.
With the walk head as well.
Yeah, and they didn't have
is he still with us?
Did they have Porkins? Is Porkins in the fight at the ending? Sorry.
Hey, get walk, go broke.
Oh, I can't believe he's not here to see an actual wok on someone's head. He'll be devastated. So, yes, the rebels have decided they are going to join in the fight. And then we get a cameo, and it is just a cameo from everyone's favorite 2 droids. But I think we're all fine with that, aren't we? Just a fleeting cameo. It's at that point.
Not really. There's no need for them.
I remember C-3PO. I remember R2-D2.
I think in their case, it was they'd appeared in every single film, hadn't they? And I think it was just continuing the yes.
Well, let's ask R2. What do you think? Okay, so he said no. So, shut up. There you go. Shut up.
R2 need to.
Oh God, we've got all the effects going on now. So we're on the Death Star and we're looking for the Betamax cassette, which has the Death Star plans on it. And meanwhile, there's a fight going on in the lagoon.
Yeah.
And we've got
Yes!
the AT-AT. Is it an
Right.
AT-AT or is it an AT-AT?
It's a Walker.
AT-AT.
AT-AT
I
in the
remember
UK, damn
AT-AT.
it.
It's an AT-AT, I agree.
Yeah. We always called it AT-AT as a kid.
Shall I add the next slide, Ruin? Yes.
Yes, there we go. We're switching on to the next deck.
Where
So
am I?
here we are. We have the Rebels.
blender.
Oh, look at that. Look
Launch
at
an
that.
assault. It's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah.
Now, if this was J.J. Abrams, you wouldn't see any space at all. It would be
Because
crammed with
spaceships.
spaceships. Yes.
It was a shame they did all this with CGI because I don't know, when I was a kid and I saw those models in the first Star Wars film, I knew they were models and I wanted one for Christmas. So but these things, they're kind of, I don't know, there's something about models that's much better than CGI. I don't know, something about them.
Now we've got it's not our old mate. It's a trap.
Fish face.
Yeah, but it is his species, and
Isn't it him when he was young? Isn't it him when he was young?
No, totally different character.
Oh,
I think
okay.
No, this
Swappers
is-
will know. Who's this Swappers?
I think he's an admiral, but his name's Radus.
Radis.
He's a black.
that's right,
He's a
correct.
blackfish.
It's a
blue.
trap.
No, his skin's blue because they have obviously they have crustaceans that are pink and blue, don't they? They're obviously going down that route with it.
That sounds like a can of worms that we don't want to open. So we'll
Blue amphibians matter. Yeah.
Yeah, move on.
we'll move on.
Yeah.
I think this is the chap who was in the original A
Diversity.
New Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really nice to use that footage and tie it in there.
Yeah, and this guy as well. He
World
was in-
leader.
Yeah. There's no
Great.
Porkins though. Where was Porkins? Or was he
No,
in
he's still
He's on
eating his
leave.
lunch.
Good leave.
Still in the canteen.
it? Yeah.
He's been defibrillated.
But they did,
So-
as I recall, they did have. Am I allowed to say the word fat? A fat guy in the X-Wing. He got blown up, as I recall, in the climax. So I guess
you're
it's taken
okay in
control.
because this is the body shaming channel. So you're
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, right, okay. So I guess they were paying tribute to him. I guess when they had that overweight guy get blown up in the X-Wing. So there you go. Carry on.
So we've had this was a nice little feature. So a couple of extras try and sneak through the gate, and it shuts, and then they kind of explode on the surface, which was locks them into this space battle. Meanwhile, K2SO and Jin, Isor, and Little Cassian are doing the best to get the plans.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, there's a whole battle going on in the lagoon. So we've
look
got
at that.
three concurrent kind of plots, if you like. We've got the space battle, the lagoon battle, and the attempt to get the plans. And it's all
Yeah.
kicking off. It's rather nice. It's rather ramping up nicely, isn't it? We get the AT-AT
Is this
taking.
part like The Empire Strikes Back, but in summer?
I guess
Well,
I guess
kind
you'd
of.
say well, it is almost, yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Good shout, Brownie. Not bad for an old Trekkie.
I do my best.
You're doing well, sir. This guy's still alive, amazingly. I thought he died about
Do
43
you know
slides ago.
who he reminds me of?
Who?
Is it the Soy Walker film? The little alien, the Bobber.
What's his name?
Bobber.
Bobber Frick, whatever his name is.
It's
a
like
bit,
the
yeah.
adult version.
Abu Fring.
Yeah.
Baba Frick, whatever his name
Yeah.
is.
Oh, God.
Moving on.
Terrible.
I get what you mean. It's the goggles, Brownie, isn't it?
Just the look. Just the
Oh,
look. The kind of
I was-
engineer
I
look.
was trying to get you out of jail there. And
I fucked it
Never
up,
mind.
didn't I? Okay. Never mind.
Never
Moving on.
mind. Anyway, again, another nice space shot. Is that a bomber? Oh, good God, not a slow bomber.
No,
Still
no,
gives
no.
me nightmares. And is that the Rebel Leia's Rebel?
Yeah, it is.
Yes,
That's Leia's ship.
which we're going to see more of, obviously, the climax of this movie, the final scenes. So the X-wings are in a locked-in battle to try and make it through the gate, and meanwhile the AT-AT is in the background. Is that an AT-AT with its
Yeah, opened.
the sides open? It's almost it's interesting.
It's
shot,
had a
isn't it?
diet.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are cargo ATATs, aren't they? With like they load the
Oh,
like
right,
a big sort of freighting bit in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Shall I do a chat?
Let's do some chats.
Dark Side of the Walk. It's the Walkade Runner. He's on fire tonight, isn't he?
How can you keep coming up with so many puns? Like I have no idea.
He's the master.
That's a skill.
Uninspired reviewer really feels like the original Battlefront 2
Good
game.
shout. Yes.
Bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe, Lee, that they put all those trees, and I thought this was another country they shot this in, but
Mm.
a lot of
Yeah,
money
and then
they
they had all those bombs, you know, the explosions going off. It was like a bloody Rammstein concert. It was just. I was impressed.
Very good.
Brownie, we've got obviously it's a tribute to Robbie Coltrane. So could you read out the next message? No, we're not going to do that.
Andy Mouse 123. They don't like
Wow.
Fat Hunt.
Wow.
We're not going to do it.
And then Andy Mouse again. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Rest in peace, Calclon.
All right.
There are T-shirts
It's like the
available,
third time now.
by the way.
That's a great shot.
There are some
What a
Rest in
shot,
Peace
yeah.
Calclon T-shirts available on my Zazzle. Moving on.
That is a gorgeous shot. It's almost a screensaver quality, isn't it?
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Mm.
looks like a painting as well. Good.
And then we've got Stormtroopers and
I
classic
have to
kind of
say I
70s
saw-
vibe corridors.
I saw them filming. I think I saw them filming this one. They were rehearsing it, but my God, how many times they fell over because the floor
Really?
was so slippery. Yeah. Really badly slippery. My goodness, even walking across it, you thought.
What about did they not
You're
have
gonna
rubber on their shoes?
No, I don't think so. But like in between takes, you had to put plastic bags over your shoes as well,
right,
so because it
okay.
would collect dust. So that was extra slippery. Yeah.
Look at that muzzle
And
flash.
one of those little robot, you know, those little droids, those little sort of tiny little cute droid things, like the little mousy ones running around. That was so cute.
I've forgotten how actors do suffer in costumes when they have to wear costumes in hot weather and stuff.
I've seen this. Some people said to me they still had the scars from wearing those suits because they were just clipping their skin, like pinching their skin all the way, all over their body. I mean, it's horrendous, really.
Yeah.
Brownie, I was talking to Franco Walker earlier before we came online, and he was telling me he's telling me he's in the market for one of those new male dildos. Could you just read his chat here?
Zazzle, Franco Walker in the chat. Zazzle wouldn't let me, or is that Razzle? Wouldn't let me buy one for some reason. The payment wouldn't go through.
Oh, that's a shame, Franco. Keep trying. You'll get there in the end, my friend. Okay, enough sleaze. Back to Rogue One. So again, I love the graphics.
That was a nice nod. That was a very nice nod.
That's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, they've really.
It was worth the tenner entry just for that.
Yes. Oh, Porkins like death.
That's unfortunate.
And this guy's still alive. I thought he died light years ago, but I think his death is imminent. And little Cassia there with his on his little arcade machine or whatever he's doing, the little grabby handle.
They can't get a radio signal off the base, can they? Because of the shield around the planets. Is that correct?
That's it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Which is one of the things I was working on at my comms desk. See. Yeah.
What did Jyn Erso have? The two handle things which stuck down the back of a backpack. Does anyone know? I mean, problem
in case
being
of emergency. I don't know.
They look like nunchucks or samurai swords, or
I think she was an Imperial ground crew, so she was like waving ships in to land and stuff. I think that's what they are. Yeah,
that makes sense. And here's a stormtrooper, nice yellowed. stormtrooper, and I think he's finally going to take one for the team here. Bodie.
Franco Walker in the chats. Vibrators.
No. Highly recommended, Franco. We'll take that offline, though, if you don't mind. Okay, we're really kind of ramping things up here, and unfortunately, we are getting to the imminent death of K2SO.
Oh, saddest part of the film.
No.
Yes, I know. How sad. It does go very Shakespearean in this film, doesn't it? I mean, it's they really do clean shop. So we're still trying to retrieve the plans. We've got the stormtroopers, and there we go. It's the end of
Rest in
K2SO.
peace, Calculon, folks.
Oh.
Rest in peace, Calculon.
Q chat. There we go. Time profit. Copy paste.
As you were saying it as well, which is impressive.
Oh, look, you can even see the
Oh,
lights go out
lights
in his
go out.
eyes.
Oh.
Shit.
This bastard's still alive. What is this guy? Brownie, if you...
It's not Chewbacca, is it?
It's 4 lions.
Fucking hell, Chewbacca when he took about 75,000 laser hits and still got up.
What film was that?
Obi-Wan, was it?
Oh God!
Or was it
that
Boba
one.
Fett? No, it was Boba Fett, wasn't it?
Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, it was the other guy, wasn't it? Black.
Yeah, the black,
Chrysanthemum.
the black
Black
Chewie,
Croissant, yeah. Black Chewie.
Blackjack.
So they've given up using the grabby handles, and I think they're going to go manual, and they're going to climb the shaft.
Yeah.
Sure.
Cue innuendos.
In the chat, Franco Walker, rest in peace, Calculon. Droid lives matter. They do. DLM.
But that's not to say no one else's lives matter.
All droid
Please
lives
bear that in mind.
matter.
R.I.P. Calculon.
Yeah, R.I.P. Yes.
So we are in a situation where we're still trying to get these goddamn plans. They're climbing the shaft a lot. We do like a good shaft. It's very Star Wars.
Especially if you have to climb it.
She's got the Betamax tape. She's got the Betamax tape.
It is. The
Our ass there. Oh, look at that.
Your mic's on. You're not muted. And we're back to.
Doesn't he look young there?
It does look young. Yes, you're right.
She is. That's why.
Moving on.
Bang bang.
And it's Krennic, I believe. Krennic's come to fuck shit up, which is his cohorts. You know, he looks fantastic in that cape, doesn't he? Just looks
He
great.
loved that cape. He loved swishing around in it. I can tell you that for nothing.
And Brownie, I was going to ask you about him, just to get your thoughts on Krennic, but you've already put it in the chat there, so that's good to know.
You wouldn't.
Well, apparently you would. Cape on or off, Brownie? That's the question.
Either. I'm easy.
Okay.
Is that what's her name's bum again? That last shot.
Cape might be nice though.
It is another. Yes.
There you go. There you go. Swapshop. There you go. Another bum shot.
Mr. Sulu enjoyed his cape as well, didn't he, Ian?
Oh, he did indeed.
Yeah. Can't beat a cape.
Don't call me tiny.
Brownie, when we're done, can you send slide 60 and 52 to Swappers, please, for his collection?
Of course.
I've already taken screen grabs of those ones.
Oh my.
So we are unfortunately getting towards another character's sad demise, and it's
I
Chirrut,
felt sorry for him. Yeah.
and his potentially gay friend. I don't know what the relationship was, but one love.
More love in the world, the better, I reckon.
Yeah, and he makes it, doesn't he? And sadly, there it is. He doesn't make it.
He is no more. He has ceased to be.
He's one with the Force, indeed.
Yeah.
Emotional. Did anyone else find it?
I did. I felt sorry for him. I felt sorry for him when he died, and also felt sorry for a friend as well.
Yeah, the other chap. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, we didn't get too long with these characters, but yeah, they managed to give us enough to care, almost. Yes.
Well, it's because they did such cool things. That's why you kind of gravitate towards them. You know, it's human nature, really. If you see somebody do something really cool, something that you wish you did, then you kind of gravitate towards them, really. But you know, like we didn't feel sorry for the Bodhi character because he got his mind sucked, and then he was a gibbering idiot all the way through it, I guess. And then and then we didn't feel sorry for him when he got killed, but the other two we did because they were cool.
Talking of which, this motherfucker is still alive, but I think this really is his last moments. I mean, if you'd have before going through this, if you'd have asked me the order of deaths, he would have been a lot sooner. But he seems to outlive a few. But yes, he's well and truly screwed now. They chuck the detonator in, and it's goodbye, Bodhi.
Yeah, he didn't blow himself up, did he?
Oh,
there's a win.
Brownie,
it's his turn.
Get the lawyers on the line.
They're all on standby, mate. Don't worry.
So we're left with. We need to get his name really to do him.
I can't remember his name.
Baze Malbus.
Baze, yes, we're left with Baze, who's got the rather large gun.
Are we going to see any of these in Andor?
Well, Donnie Yen is a huge
I'm not
star.
watching it.
Donnie Yen's a huge star in his own country, so I don't think you'll be seeing him anytime soon. So, but yeah.
Well, they only met when in this movie, didn't they? So that and it's not going to be. You might get K2SO and maybe one or two other characters, but not those two guys.
Unless they pay them a shitload of money, which they are capable of doing. So.
And I think this is the end of Baze, isn't it? Yep.
The end.
That's one last lingering look.
R.I.P.
Yes.
Calculum.
Reminiscing about the time he bummed the other guy and
without lubrication.
Memories all alone in the moonlight.
Terrible.
I mean, I'm right to assume that Baze was the top. Is that the fair assumption, or are we getting to?
Well, the blind guy didn't care, did he? He couldn't see anything, so it didn't really matter to him.
And he holds a goal, I suppose.
Giver or receiver? Moving on.
I don't know. Sure,
maybe Donnie Yen thought he was a girl all this time.
I was going to say, yeah, Kira blind. He didn't know at the time. He had long hair, clean-shaven face.
Maybe he's into Wookiees and thought he was a Wookiee.
Oh, good God.
A Wookiee gay hooker. A Wookiee hooker.
A Wooker, yeah. Oh, God.
A Wooker. A Walker.
A Walker.
Oh, no. Brown. Slap yourself.
Sorry.
Shocking.
Moving on. Stream killer. Moving on.
Okay, so the space battle rages on, and I think this is a quite cool scene. We get almost a ramming technique to ram the Star Destroyer into the gate and open the gate to allow the X-Wings.
Doesn't make any sense either. That little ship can move that huge ship.
It's powerless. The ship was powerless. It lost power.
Yeah, I suppose in space it's weightless, isn't it? So it's any force that's acting on it will have.
I guess, but you know,
it's correct. It would work.
Really? So that means we shouldn't hear any noise in space, then?
I was just about to
follow those rules.
I was just about to say, because I know you inside out. Literally, I was just going to say. Obviously, the noise is inaccurate.
Noise is just for effect, though, isn't it? Just like the music, just like the musical score. You know?
Yeah.
The debate still rages about gay or no gay, and apparently only one of them was gay. You're not gay if you're giving. Apparently,
do you think?
Well, this is the moment we've come to, isn't it? That we have to ask that question, right? Can't they just be friends?
Yeah.
You know, like you know, romance. Yeah. Why can't we accept it as that? You know, but it's exactly.
Question, if I may, do you think Donnie Yen obviously was blind, was big into masturbation?
You're such a silly man.
And at this point,
I'm sorry, if there was gay subtext to this relationship, I didn't notice it, and I'm a pup, so I don't know. I didn't see it.
That's what I'm saying. the only reason why we're thinking that is because of today's stupid agenda in movies,
Yeah, it is.
isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's
bullshit,
probably
yeah.
been done retrospectively. They've decided, it's like they do with everything. They go back and say, "Oh yeah, so and so that character was gay," so then it becomes gay.
You see,
It's like, oh,
Time
God,
Prophet's on my side. His parents said he would go blind. My mother said I would go blind as well. God rest her soul, and she was right.
She was right.
She was fucking right.
Well, he's a
God
member of the
rest her
Church of
soul.
the Force, isn't he? So he's like out in the wilderness a lot on his own, or in a monkery or whatever, some place of worship where there's
Monastery,
no
you
one around.
mean?
He's got to do monastery. That's the one.
A
not
monkery.
Yeah, that's for the Simeon worshippers.
I
like
just
the
going back
sound
to an earlier conversation I had with Melvin offline, and I was asking him to describe this male dildo he's ordered. Brownie, could you?
Melvin, the wonderful Melvin Deeply in the chat. Think of it like a little thruster.
A little thruster, okay. Thanks.
We'll take nickname for you, Brown.
And then Andy says, Ruin, packing in with the things.
It's
a matter of mass.
Oh, yeah,
there we
baby.
go.
Yeah, but hold on, but hasn't those ships got like shields or something?
Knock the powers down, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah,
But what about the other
shields
ship?
are down. The rear shields are down.
What about the other ship though? Shouldn't the other ship have shields?
Shields are down, I guess.
No, they were both bombed by ion.
Right.
Well,
Okay.
that would definitely, and that would definitely kill off the shield as well as destroying half the ship.
Because they do mention shields in Star Wars a lot, don't they? The shields are
They
down.
do.
Blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
blah,
but they
blah.
thought this through. They thought this whole scene through. So I would have picked up on that.
Unlike modern day Disney films where they don't bother to explain anything.
God, yeah.
Well, they do, but it's in the accompanying novelization.
Yeah. Read about how the ship exploded because the shields were down. Fantastic. What a great way to spend money.
It looks
So
great.
I don't know if anyone recalls the trailers for this movie, but there was one particular scene where Jin was at the end of this kind of walkway, and a TIE fighter literally comes up. She comes face to face with this TIE fighter, and it was an awesome scene, and it never made it into the final movie.
Yeah, the film had trouble when they were making it. I mean, you got the feeling that KK did interfere a lot, and so it stayed in the trailer, but it didn't end up in the film.
Yeah, they said I think I can't remember who did say that there is a completely alternate cut of the film out there somewhere.
Yeah. Wow, that'd be great.
With a completely different story. Yeah, it might have even been Ben Mendelsohn that said it. Yeah,
you couldn't say the same for Solo because when they lost money when they were filming that, they spent 2 weeks on one scene. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. And the reason why the reason why they were sacked was because they were taking just so long over everything, and they were improvising a lot of stuff as well. They didn't stick to the script, and Kathleen Kennedy was all about the script. So
her scripts. Melvin Deeply in the chat. TIE fighters, a good bunch of lads. They are.
If they're not going to get follow the script, then you're going to be in trouble, aren't you? So yeah,
she was not happy. There was a lot of days when you saw her just like being quite animated with them.
Dark Side of the Walk, giant walk.
Yes,
he's
back, and he's appreciating the walk. Mr. Brown, we've got a comment from Andy Mouse about the lineup of guests that you've accrued for today's show. Would you like to read it out?
Andy Mouse, 123, moderator, ambassador of the channel. Fucking hell, Mr. B, bottom of the barrel stuff. Yeah, I know they are a bunch of bastards.
God, Andy,
I know.
We're trying our best.
Sorry, Andy. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
Disgusting.
Okay. See you next Friday, Andy.
See you next Tuesday.
So we have Krennic with his cape and Jin with the plans. It's all coming to a crescendo.
Oh, look at that! That is acting. You could tell he's enjoying himself.
He's Australian, you know.
Did he really love wearing that cape?
He was swishing it around like nobody's business.
Wow,
swishing it around.
Little Cassian.
Don't blame
Shooting
him.
people as always.
In the chats, Melvin Deeply, I think there was an alternative death scene for K2SO
Oh.
also. Yeah, I think he lived in that one.
That would have been better. Well, a death scene where he lived. That's interesting.
That's a thinking man's joke.
Is another thing.
Well, it is possible because he is a robot. Because when he died, they could have brought him back to life, couldn't they? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is possible.
Just reboot him, yeah. Just
Yeah,
put a
reboot him.
memory stick in him and he's away.
Yeah, only his
Then
body
he
would be
can
a
turn
long
up in
time.
another
Yeah.
Star Wars movie and not remember anything like C-3PO. And
I'm streaming with my friends for the very last time.
There's a Sony
Moving on.
TV. Yay!
Yeah, we love
They're
the
back.
old
Yeah.
tech. Look at that. Look at the Death
Yes.
Star. Yeah.
Look at that.
That's exactly what I had on my screen when I was at. Yeah, the exact thing.
Oh, I just want to press those buttons.
But it didn't press.
That's what he said.
I was pressing these buttons. I think there were a couple of switches that did work, but didn't really do much. I have to say, it didn't blow up anything.
Yes. Thank you, Franco. Thank you.
Got to say, I love all these wide shots of the kind of control tower.
That looks fantastic. It does look fantastic.
Ready.
This will be the Star
Yeah,
Destroyer.
I got the impression that Peter Cushing wasn't very tall, but in this film he looks like he's a giant for some reason.
I think it's because in the original Star Wars movie, he was standing next to Vader, who was like much taller
exactly.
than him.
Yeah.
And he wasn't always wearing his slippers as well because he didn't.
He did, yeah.
I heard about this. Yeah, he couldn't wear the boots or something.
Yeah.
He always wore gloves as well because he smoked, and he didn't want the tabs, the yellow from the filters to colour his fingers. So he always wore gloves when he was smoking. Peter Cushing.
Very smart.
Yeah, don't make him like that anymore, do they?
So, Uninspired reviewer, very, very observant there.
Shall I read this?
Yeah, please do. It's good comment.
Uninspired reviewer, you can tell those behind the production were passionate. Doesn't feel corporate like the sequel trilogy. It's only the kind of Jyn Erso, you could feel it coming through with her, but we didn't know at the time, though, did we?
No, only in hindsight.
Yeah.
But the director, what was his name again? It was
Edwards.
Gareth
Edwards.
He was properly passionate and genuine fan, and he wanted to make the best film he could. That's where it comes from. It comes from him. Definitely.
But the thing is, I don't mind Jane Eyesore. I don't mind her at all. I just think that the film works, but there are little bits that doesn't work. But it does work. The film works as a cinematic experience.
Still got no safety rails near a giant fucking laser.
Yeah, that's the Family Guy thing, isn't it?
Every goddamn time they have to cower for their lives. Could they not put a screen up or something to protect them?
I know, right?
So they've got the plans out of the data center, and the shield's gone down of the planet, and they've transmitted, haven't they?
Yes.
But the Death Star has shot its load, as it were.
Yes,
and it's
as an attempt to quell the rebellion, they decided just to nuke
from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
Yes, of course.
I quite like the fact that on was it Wobani, where Krennic's looking out the window at the test fire of the Death Star, and he's going, "Oh, it's beautiful," and all these people's lives being wiped out, and the planet's being completely desecrated by the laser blast, and he kind of gets his comeuppance by having it aimed directly at him at the end of the movie. I think that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the beam actually does tear right through the top of the tower where he is as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, because they want to take out the communications dish, don't they?
The thing is, though, the angle of that beam wouldn't have been like that, would it?
I don't know.
It's too shallow. The beam was too shallow.
Also, they could have rescued Jane Eyesore and what's his name, couldn't they? Get a ship down there fast, but they didn't. They all just jumped. Hyperspace jump, didn't they? All legged it, didn't they? Yeah, they all legged it.
They all had to go.
Yeah.
Probably like, oh, not that Mardy cow. Let's just leave her.
Not that goofy bitch. Just leave her alone.
boy.
I will say, as the owner of this channel, my views are certainly not the same as the guests' YouTube.
That's not what you
Moving
said
on.
before.
There's
Before
the
the
disclaimer,
broadcast.
folks.
Brown, you know you've got that sound effects board there, yeah. You haven't got a sound effect of a beer bottle top being opened, have you?
No, I've got that.
Is that the only sound you've got?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Can we get some wok noises for future streams, please? Some sizzling wok noises.
I'll have a look on the online, see what sound effects there is.
Just make your own.
So here we
Did
go.
he give one on the beach before?
He didn't have time, mate.
Because it's going back to the kind of nuclear Holocaust question. If the sirens went off and you had 4 minutes to live, what would you do?
Would you lob it out and quickly run one off, or
well, you could
Would it
boil an
make-
egg.
Would it make a sound?
They hugged each other. That's what they did.
They
And that
hugged
was
each
that.
other.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I mean, he really should just got his cock out and said, "Look, come on, man.
Just gone lobbed.
I'll make it in a like
Well,
2 minutes." Like,
Can I?
refund.
I'm going to pick you up on that. You said he got his dingly dangly out. She could have got her thing out, equality and all that. You know.
She
Well,
could have had a dingly dangly. You never know, Brown. You know, it's Disney.
What, strap on and done
What
it
a-
if she wanted to.
What a great climax to this movie that would have been. He pulls his out, and like, he looks her up and down, and there's just silence between them, and then suddenly she
Do you
goes,
like-
"All right then."
together?
And then hers flops out as well. Like, oh my
Well,
god.
Do you like
Forrest
chicken?
Whitaker, he was in The Crying Game. You know, he's got form in these kind of movies.
Wow.
Oh, how disappointing for him. that would have been.
The wonderful Andy Mouse 123 in the chats. Sit on this, love.
Squit on it.
Apparently, there's an Australian film which ended exactly as we've just described. So everyone,
Oh, get in.
Yeah, but if it's KK, she'd probably say, you know, she has to say, lick it, love. That's probably what it is. Isn't
Well,
it?
you know that she's a self-insert, right? So obviously, because no one fucks Kathleen Kennedy, so that's why they didn't have
No.
sex.
Well, if it was her, if they had to have a scene like that
Marshall
in there, if
used
it was
to.
her, she would have had Jen Isor pegging him before the end.
Right.
it's just sunk into Time Prophet that he's watched Andor for nothing.
Yeah. She could have got one of those. You know those two big black sticks she had. She could have pegged him
God.
with one of those.
Oh, for God's sake, this isn't the royal family, Brown. What do you think's going on here?
Well, of course, if you watched Andor,
Oh,
for any
look at
reason,
that.
clearly you should have like considered maybe that was a bad idea to start with.
That's the first acting she's done in the entire film. Do you think
But
she
yeah-
put an onion in front
She-
of her eye?
She doesn't look too bad in Google though, when she's all done up and stuff.
Have you seen
It's
her in her
quite-
underwear? Whew.
Quite cool. Yeah. Fwah,
Don't
fwah.
objectify me as I pose in my lingerie. Oh.
That's a
Yeah,
nice.
it is.
That's a nice sunset, everybody.
Yeah.
Well,
Out
strong one.
sunset.
Boom.
Not-
And that's it. Vaporized.
Oh, what a loss to humanity.
She doesn't look too bad. I'm still looking at the picture, by the way.
I bet you are.
So they've got the plans.
They've got the plans, and surely nothing can stop them now, or can it? Well, here we go. We're not quite done with this yet, man, babies. We've got one final glorious scene. And I don't know, I'd like to hear from everyone on this as I click through, because it really was an iconic scene. I'm going to put my cards on the table. I bloody loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I know some people criticize it. I actually thought, in its defense, some people say, how is Darth Vader doing all this incredible fighting, and then he's, you know, quite rigid and in the next movie? But I thought they controlled
really.
him. Yeah. He was
we all
walking
know
pace.
why, don't we?
Yeah.
Because that was made in 1977. And this
Well,
is
of
made
course,
today, of course.
Yeah.
We all know why. It's ridiculous.
But it's
to
not, he's
say
not
that.
like Yoda doing somersaults, for God's sake. He's just walking along, and it's all in the arm movement. But
Dark
Yeah.
side of the
Okay,
walk. It's the walk squad.
the Walk Squad, he's loving this.
Andy Mouse. I fucking loved it too.
Yes.
Are you a
uninspired.
bit more box hard?
But that was the moment
Amazing
in the
scene.
film, especially when when this is the first time we're introduced to Easter eggs in another Star Wars movie, and we loved it. We lapped it up, didn't we? We saw Darth Vader coming through that door, and his lightsaber lights up and lights him up. And, we just lapped it all up, didn't
Where's the
Was it
geezer
dark
with
and
his?
the red laser, the red laser, the like
Yeah.
light just lit up everything.
we?
And it was just like,
Where's the geezer with his helmet off
yeah.
center? To one side, tilted.
Oh, the old dude, yes. Yeah.
Well, he's elsewhere because all these guys died, didn't they?
Yeah.
I thought the
Yeah.
lighting,
Keep it
though,
brown.
the lighting wasn't as brightly lit as the original Star Wars, was it? But anyway, that's just a minor nitpick.
That's true.
I mean, when we got this scene and the red lightsaber ignites, it's just it's on, and oh,
Douche.
what a scene! There we go.
It's a good scene. It's a good scene.
Savage.
Yeah, deflecting the laser boats, sending some back at them.
Actually,
Oh, what an
push,
expression!
making people hit the ceiling and all that stuff.
Yeah, fantastic.
And
It was
just
just
crushing
really
skulls, or necks or whatever he was doing.
Yeah, it was really well orchestrated. It wasn't really well planned out and storyboarded. That whole scene, really imaginative. The way he executed everyone and his.
And then they did the same trick again with Luke Skywalker in Mandalorian, didn't they? I think, that works.
Yeah.
No, but this scene was an afterthought, wasn't it? After the film had finished, they decided to do this scene, didn't they? So
Yeah.
just to add more of Darth Vader in it, because I reckon somebody that watched it went, "We need more Darth Vader."
Yeah.
So
And
that's
they were
probably what
right, it
happened.
worked.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Wow, that's fantastic. Makes me want to go and watch the
You're enjoying that, Ruin?
scene. I'm really loving it. Yeah, but look, I need to go back to Time Prophet because his dildo order's been delayed.
Oh.
Brownie, give us an update, Brownie. What's the issue?
Time Prophet in the chat. My dildo has been stuck in the Northwest Super Hub for 3 days now. Grrr.
That's not a euphemism either.
Feckin' postal strike.
I'm wondering who Northwest is. Is she cheap?
She's a super hub, apparently. Don't worry, Time Prophets will be worth it when it arrives. Don't you worry. So,
yes.
Dart's still kicking arses, using the force choke.
Wait for his 20-year letterbox. That's what I say. Moving on.
And they're having to play kind of pass the parcel, aren't they, with the plans here? Oh my god,
That's where your fucking parcel is. There we go.
Epic.
Great stuff.
And still he comes. Wow. Even the soundtrack, I can recall the soundtrack really ramping up and making it, even though they get away with the plans, it just felt really tense and
Why
they're
couldn't
away.
the rest of Star Wars be as good as this?
No, I know.
Oh.
So
Too much hard work.
We were so excited after this.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the
Why
reason
did it go
why Last
wrong?
Jedi was so poorly received, wasn't it? Because everyone's expectations were so high after this film, and then they were dropped massively with the next film.
Bait and switch. Switch.
And what was the next film to appear on our screens?
Fuck off.
I love the shot of Vader, his cloak flapping in the wind. He just looks so
great.
fucking awesome. Yes.
That's great.
And there it is. And the next time we see that will be
Okay.
5 minutes time.
He didn't fall, did he? Imagine him tripping over and falling into space.
Yeah. And then pretty quickly, then no following movie.
The end.
Now, I just wish it had ended there. I just wish that was it. That was the ending. But sadly, it carries on a little bit further, and we get. For me, was the not so good CGI. Even if they just ended like this, we know it's Leia, for God's sake. Do we
just
really
end it there.
Yeah,
just end it there. Yeah,
just end it there. We know it's Leia. She could just slightly turn her head to the side, but no, they had to go there.
Could
It
have
wasn't
ended
so
there.
bad.
There it is. It's fucking awful. Look at it.
No, it's not. No, I mean it's not so bad. It's not so bad. It's okay. Do you know what I mean? We can tell it's CGI, but it's not horrendous or anything like that. They did their best. Let's face it. And this is just this is just the start of them trying to do this effect. So, you know, I
should have left it out. Should have left it out.
Yeah, they could have left it out, but they went. They went as far with Peter Cushing. They might as well gone, you know, with this one. So
they kind of half got away with Peter Cushing.
Half.
Yeah,
they
but
didn't get away with it at all.
Yeah.
You know, if George Lucas would have directed this, he would have put that in because we've seen what
he would have.
did with
Yeah.
this special.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he would have. He would have.
Yeah, right,
definitely.
Yeah,
at least the modern day deep fakes have drastically improved the
yeah,
CGI.
if you've seen that guy that actually pretends to be Tom Cruise on his Twitter or is it TikTok thing, that the effects are so good that you think it's Tom Cruise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and Disney still can't do it as good as that.
I think the problem with this is, I think it's the aspect. Her face, it just looks too wide. It looks wider than taller. I just think the dimensions are slightly wrong.
It's still a good achievement. This is the start. Good. Yeah, it's a good achievement, I think.
I think a little taller and just slightly narrower, it would have been more manageable and okay.
Do you know what my OCD says? The parking is slightly wrong at the front.
Oh right, yeah.
Maybe
I just think the head's too wide. If you look at Carrie Fisher's head or in the original, it just doesn't look quite as wide. It's only a couple of millimeters, maybe, but it's enough to.
Put my OCD.
Well, they got that girl, didn't they? They said that she looked a bit like her, and then they did the CGI over her face. That she had the same dimensions as Carrie Fisher when she was young. So, and that's who they used. So
there you go, Franco. Not quite Carrie Fisher. Agreed. Not quite.
Isn't it amazing that people can do this special effects on their phones now? You know.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can. Yeah.
Okay, is that it then, Ruin?
It is. We've reached the end, but look, without wanting to make it all about me, I wasn't aware of this. I was actually in this movie. Can you believe it? Apparently, Ryan Johnson played an Imperial technician in Rogue One.
I am not Ryan Johnson.
Oh dear!
I could have been sat next to Ryan Johnson. I would not have noticed because I was a Comtech. Imperial.
Now I like it even more. Brilliant. But yes, we've reached the end. There's some extremely small fonts for everyone.
Shall we just perhaps a line or two off each guest about the film?
Absolutely. It's you took the words right out my arse. So yes, let's start with problem being. Give me your pithy review of Rogue One.
It was a sign of things not to come.
That's true.
Too true.
Very true.
But you enjoyed it, sir. You did. You liked the movie.
I did. I wasn't overly enthusiastic about it because I think when you've sort of been raised on Star Wars your entire childhood, you know, and then you see these modern day versions, it just doesn't have the charm. It's all very actiony and it's all very, you know, high tech and it's all very flash bang wallop, but it just lacks that special magic that they had back in the 70s and early 80s.
I'll get a rating from everyone. So what would you give it? Shall
we throw the rating out to the chat?
Yeah, of course, always. Yes.
Peeps in the chat marks out of 10.
Out of 10 for Rogue One in the chat, if you would. Yeah, go on, Probbers. Problem being
7.5 maybe.
7.5. Okay.
I
okay.
No halves. No halves.
Dark Side of the Walk gives a 6 walks out of 10.
7.2.
Okay.
Swappers, let's have your closing thoughts and your rating for Rogue One.
Life's a beach, and then young Skywalker, you will die.
Uh-oh.
And Kathleen Kennedy then took over with Ruin Johnson and tanked the franchise. But I thought this film was pretty good when I first saw it. When I walked out the cinema, I gave it about an 8.5 out of 10. And then a couple of views later, and all this dreck that we've had of Star Wars since, I'd give it probably about a 6.5.
Oh, okay, it's lost a little over time.
Yeah.
That's fair. We're getting a range in the chat, by the way. I've been flashing them up, but we've got we seem to get an average of around about the 7 mark, 6, 7. Which for Disney is pretty damn good. Mega Geek, your closing thoughts and your rating, if you would, sir.
My closing thoughts is I did enjoy this film when I saw it in the cinema. I actually think it's the best Star Wars since the Lucas ones. Obviously not the Lucas prequels, because that was just terrible. But the original.
Here's a question for you, Ian.
Mm.
Is it better than Return of the Jedi?
No. The reason why it's not, it's because remember, Return of the Jedi had groundbreaking effects in it. So that's and I think that puts the edge on this one. This one is closer to Star Wars, the original trilogy than
what you're saying is the original Star Wars films and this one, which is directly connected to the originals, are the top 4 Star Wars films.
In my opinion, yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right, actually. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
But and out of 10, I'd give it a 7, maybe 7, because I said this film is made for the cinema. You watch this in the cinema. I watched it in the cinema, and I actually went to see it twice. I saw it once in normal version, and then the second time I went with Keith, and we saw it in 4XD, and it was a lot of fun. So as I said, I think it works. The only thing that spoils it is some of the horrible things that are in the script slightly, and obviously Felicity spoiled it because she's not a very good actress. Well, in this one anyway. No. But apart from that, very enjoyable.
I was fabulous.
But you were good though, yeah. You were good.
Best elbow in show business. Apparently.
Yeah. We got a couple of good arse shots from Felicity.
We did indeed.
Yeah, we did. I would agree, Meg Geek. I think everything you said there. I think it's definitely the next best of the after the Lucas original 3. Personally, sorry gang, I would put it above the prequels. I enjoyed it more than the prequels, I have to say. I know that's controversial, but
so did I.
Yeah, I did. And I'd probably give it an 8. I really, every time I watch it, I enjoy it. It's not, I mean, if I've given the original 3 10 out of 10, I'd just put it a little step down and an 80. I really, really did enjoy Rogue One. I've saved the birthday boy to last, although it's no longer your birthday, Brownie.
I would just say, going back on what Ian said, this feels more Lucas than Disney. And we can see the Disney stuff or the interference from a certain person coming through, but bless you, but made from the right place by the right people. And interference, it just about managed to get out of Dodge, as it were. So
the crew, the cast, the extras, all the people around this film were really dedicated to it.
We're into it, yeah. You could tell
a hell of a lot of work into it. I can tell you that for nothing. And they, really committed and really enjoying what they were doing, and regardless of what transpired since, that shouldn't ever be taken away from them. And
we were all hopeful after this.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest crime of all, I think.
Yeah. Hope. The very last line, the last word spoken. Hope.
That's what's the only thing that's left in Pandora's box.
Brownie, they're getting frustrated in the chat. They just want a goddamn vote from you. So what's your rating?
At the time I would have given it a solid 8, but I think with what it is a solid 7 all day long, in my opinion. But there you go.
And final question: how long did it take you to come up with the name, Mr. Brown?
Too long.
Okay. And
Shall we
on
thank
that
the chat?
bombshell, we should absolutely thank the chat. They've been outstanding form tonight.
Always the same people. Genuinely, guys, you're the fucking best.
Wakanda forever.
Yeah, Wakanda forever. It's been a privilege to see you in the chat, especially on my birthday. So appreciate that, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Great job. Thanks to all my esteemed colleagues on the stream tonight, to the chat, to not Brian Young for putting together a fabulous set
cheers,
of
Brian.
slides. We love you, Brian, and until next time,
And
may the force be
before,
with you, man.
Before we
babies.
go, and thank you, Ruin the Man Baby. Cheers, Ruin.
My pleasure.
Yay.
Always happy to shit on a Star Wars film if it's not one of my own.
Thank you to the guests, Probby, Swappers, and Ian. Cheers, lads.
No worries.
I think that's it. Shall we fuck off now, Roo?
Let's do it. Let's get the rock out of here. Let's get the walk out of here.
Shall we?
Walk on, Tommy.
Bye, everybody. Take care.
Good night,
See you next
man,
time.
babies.
Adios. Adios. Adios.
Bye.